I swear I'm not in love with you.
Firearm was found in the student's backpack at the start of the school day. The weapons detection system alerted the school resource officer to the presence of that weapon. The student never entered the school building. The firearm was found before that. The 16-year-old student will not be allowed to return to class at Grissom High School. I'm Andrea Dice.
For more news affecting Alabamians, go to 1819news.com. And while you're there, subscribe to the daily newsletter.
When your tax refund comes, put it on the floor and walk on it. Revitalize the look and feel of your home with new floors from Prattville Carpet. With faster and better service than the big box stores and luxury vinyl planks starting as low as $4.99 per square foot. You'll enjoy that tax refund turned flooring every single day.
Hi, I'm Ray Bowles from Prattville Carpet. If you're looking for waterproof carpet, hardwood, laminate, vinyl plank, or ceramic tile, call us today for your free measurement.
Dial 285-8117 or visit PrattvilleCarpet.com.
Prattville Carpet, we're more than just carpet.
The Health and Wealth Show. The Health and Wealth Show. The show so nice, we said it twice. Weekday evenings at 6 on News Talk 93.1 WACV. The Health.
Break it up, son. Joke's over, hey?
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. It's time for Montgomery's conversational radio show. It's news and views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
This is the Trump country. We live in the Southeast. We drink sweet tea. We don't drink socialist Kool-Aid. That's how you conduct yourself in a democracy.
Joey Clark.
Welcome into the program. I'm your host, Joey Clark, and what a beautiful day it is. Thank God for another beautiful day. Hope it's going to be a good show, and Montgomery needs a new mayor. And part of the beauty is seeing the SPLC indicted for wire fraud, money laundering, and conspiracy to commit money laundering. But it's not just like, oh, somebody was trying to, embezzle funds or whatever in a fraudulent way. They're actually funneling money to leadership and, to the so-called hate groups they're trying to fight against. So in order to paint themselves as saints and angels to their donor base in particular, they decided to make a deal with the devil and his demons and his legions. Pretty crazy story, and I'm looking forward to getting into the details of that. Of course, we have the acting attorney general and Kash Patel play those clips. But joining us now, and first we'll get a reaction from him on this, is Jeff Poor, host of the Jeff Poor Show, and of course he is editor-in-chief at 1819news.com, and I believe he's also calling us from Washington, D.C., the imperial capital itself. Hey, Jeff, how you doing?
Doing well, Joe. How are you?
I'm great. Yeah, life is real good, especially what do you think of this major indictment brought down against the SPLC?
It's a little startling. I'm not going to lie. I didn't have that on my checklist to-do list. But, I've always thought it was always in their economic interest to embellish and exaggerate. And turns out it was a whole lot more than that. It was actually manufacturing what they were embellishing and exaggerating.
Well, and just to do a little history here, this is a very different crew than maybe the original folks that started this like 50 years ago. Especially like a lot of the old guard was run out on a rail for all sorts of reasons. So this indictment covers 2014 to about now. So this is a recent decade-long scheme, though, of pushing money to like the folks that created the Unite the Right Charlottesville event that Biden said, the whole reason I ran was because of the Charlottesville rally. So it seems to me this is like the baton was handed over to a new generation. And though they were backed by a lot of the elite institutions, including, I suspect, the FBI, the old FBI under especially Democrats, it seems like they also have really just screwed up at this point, and they're caught in the crosshairs of at least the law for the moment.
Yeah, I think they really screwed up. There's just a subset of people in this country that's just not going to believe it, though. It's Trump's DOJ, therefore it must not be credible. This is just Trump trying to go after his political enemies. But I know how seedy the nonprofit world, especially up here, is, and this is the kind of things they think of. But it's not. The perception was with these guys that there was always just down on the street corner, there's a secret plan, clavern meeting or whatever. There's these groups that just show up to protest. They're all fueled by racial, animosities or whatever. Mm-hmm. And it's a message that I think was generated for out-of-touch elites with deep pockets who don't go around in America. They think of Alabama and they think it's still the stereotypes. And they do that. And like you said, they're just making money off of it. It's shameless. And I'm not surprised, but yeah, I wouldn't be surprised either if there was some federal involvement, and this is what we're going to find out over time.
Well, my suggestion is they sell all their assets, sell all their possessions, give it away to the poor of Montgomery. I think it would be a great thing. And, I'm looking at here something that's gone viral all over again. Charlie Kirk, 4 months before he was assassinated, this is almost a year ago on May the 25th of last year, 2025, saying the SPLC is at a turning point to their ridiculous quote-unquote hate group list right next to the KKK and neo-Nazis, a cheap smear from a washed-up org that's been fleecing scared grandmas for decades. They somehow still rake in over $100 million a year peddling their hate map nonsense, sitting pretty in their Montgomery poverty palace while crying about hate to line their pockets. Even former staffers call their racket a quote-unquote con. Their game plan, scare financial institutions into debanking us, pressure schools to cancel us, and demonize us so some unhinged lunatic feels justified targeting us. Wow. Remember the Family Research Council? And SPLC-inspired gunmen went after them. They'd love nothing more than to see TPUSA in the crosshairs. But it's 2025 and nobody with a functioning brain buys their garbage anymore. The SPLC is a laughingstock, a hollowed-out husk of an organization that has been exposed as a grift time and time again. They're not just irrelevant, they're a cautionary tale of how to torch your own credibility. Maybe someone should take a hard look at where all that nonprofit money really is going. Being on their list is a badge of honor. It means they're terrified that we're so effective. Keep crying, SPLC. America's done with your scam. And in a way, a little prophetic there, calling them out and especially saying somebody should take a hard look at where all that nonprofit money's really going.
I'll tell you what else is I mean, like, there are, like, media outlets, leading media outlets, obviously. There are corporations, corporate boardrooms, stockholders meetings that take them seriously, or have taken them seriously. Oh, yeah. That they, that they give money. Sometimes it's just an extortion. You either pay us, and then we won't put you on our hate list, or we won't target you or your customers. But they've used them as sort of like the authority. They've treated them like this authority on this, this alleged hatred that we don't see. We live in Alabama, Joey, and it's not like, have you ever seen a Ku Klux Klan member in your life?
No, I have not.
Well, so the point of that is, but there are real people where I'm at today who believe that this is just like something that just goes on everywhere, and that's because the Southern Poverty Law Center has created that perception.
Yeah, and it really is a shame. And I was telling you on your show that, like, if you got anywhere outside the fold at all to the right, and in particular, it bled over into the libertarian world with the Ron Paul group in the Mises Institute. They're at Auburn, Alabama. They got thrown on the list. And I remember when I was starting to learn from them and hang out with those folks, I had a bunch of very respectable conservatives who would watch out for that. So it used to have an effect even on a lot of your, say, Bush conservatives back in the early 2000s.
Yeah, well, they created what they called a conservative ghetto, and it was really meant to put the Ron Paul crowd in there and lump them in. Well, they're kind of crazy. We don't really understand what they're for. We can kind of this is probably like a 2008, early 2000s thing, I thought, but there was like an effort to like castigate them away when they were really active and they were participating and put them, in line with some of these groups. But they've done that to a lot of other groups. And I guess like Turning Point USA, somebody saw that as a threat, and that got on their radar too. But now it's being exposed. I wonder how much longer, if at all, that they're going to continue to have this credibility they've been dining off of for the last 30 years.
Yeah, but your point, I think there are a lot of folks that are in their own little bubble, their own silo, and they're not going to believe this. They're going to keep donating. They might even donate a little harder, but this is where you see where the court case goes. And it sounds like this is only the beginning. The indictment's just the organization, just the SPLC itself as an organization. I'm sure there are going to be individuals throughout that organization that are also going to get some indictments thrown their way.
What feels funny, Joe, is like about the time like Morris Dees and the guy who his family founded it.
Yeah.
About the time that he got ran out of there for his alleged sexual misconduct. Me too. Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
Around that time, that's when this. If you look at this indictment, allegedly, this is about the time this changed. They started taking a different path.
Yeah, the new guard got in there and started running their own operation, and talk about sloppy. And also, it just shows that, like, the demand is not there. To your earlier point, most folks you meet ain't racist, and even if they might have an opinion on, like, crime in Montgomery and you don't talk about it the right way, they're not Klan members, they're not Nazi members, they're not part of these crazy groups. And also, it's fascinating how you can put certain noises and a certain framing around the idea of, say, maybe you're very pro-life, like maybe you're very religious, a devout, Reformed Baptist or a devout Catholic, and pro-life is your whole thing. They would put you in that same camp. And most recently, I know a lot of the more traditionalist Catholic churches were thrown into that camp by the SPLC. So it's just like normal people, I think, they're willing to give them like, oh, they're annoying, we see through them. But then it still puts a certain stank on normal folks. It's a shame.
Just think about how radical you have to be to stage this kind of stuff, right? Like, how the mindset here, and you probably think that you're righteous and you're justified, but that you have to manufacture these situations. I mean, we're not talking like paying like some B-list Klan member, $200 in beer money. There's like millions of dollars put toward this to like really incite these things. But I really think that they believe they're justified in doing that because they're needed. They think that they're needed, that racism may not be as overt as it was in the 1960s, but everybody's still racist, so you need guys like us. And that's how radical these guys are. But that's a strain that's just throughout the left in this, mommy Karen state we live in.
Yeah, and it also makes me think of how much of the past is, and I'm pretty still mainstream on a lot of this stuff, but how much of the past in our history is just manufactured, like operations to a certain, the way the media used to be controlled, the way things would real changes did happen. Don't get me wrong, but there's also, I think, a version of American history, especially the boomer, the 20th century, that to me, I now see what's going on under the hood here in the 21st century. I go, I wonder if everything I was told about the last century is correct.
You ever wonder that? Because like you saw the January 6th, whatever you want to think of January 6th, it was not good, but I think the way that it's portrayed, there's some embellishments. It's co-opted in a way that suits a certain side gaining an advantage. And how many incidents, even throughout, American history, the last 50, 60 years, that were just, the optics were so bad, and the optics were not good, but they were maximized, politicized in a way to give one side the absolute advantage, more than they deserved, even if it was as bad as it looked or whatever. But it was portrayed even worse than it was, and it made people out to be, even if you were just in Washington, D.C. on January 6th, you were accused of being somebody wanted to overthrow the government or whatever. And there's a lot of people who were just there to protest the election, but you get lumped in with that. They like I said, they debank you, they deplatform you. You think about that, and you put that alongside anything else in our history that had that same similar optic, and you got to wonder if the way we perceive history, the way it's presented to us, is being done in a way to maximize the maximum political benefit.
Amen. And it's a reminder too that a lot of the political fight, folks, is not just at the ballot box. Ballot box is very important, no doubt, but a lot of the fight has to do with your elite institutions, your media institutions, your academic institutions, so on and so forth. And it's going to be a fascinating battle coming up. And I want to pick your brain real quick then, Jeff, on just general sense of these elections. Let's, because I know you've been talking to a lot of folks up there in D.C. What's your sense of the midterms at the federal level?
Well, I did have Gary Palmer on today, and he thinks that they can hold on to the House. I think it's maybe wish casting. There's a funny thing going on, and you look at the last few midterm elections. I mean, we really haven't had a real wave election probably since 2010. But you had back-to-back midterm waves, 06 and 10. But I think Democrats will have a good night, and they'll have a good night in some ways because they redraw lines to give them an advantage. But, who knows if that will be in play come November. But I don't know that it's going to be the wave that they're going to oversell it, just like the Republicans did 4 years ago. We oversold. Biden was so bad. Biden was so out of it that you would have thought the reaction would have been a lot more profound than it was, but it wasn't. It was a narrow majority. McCarthy had a hard time getting into the speaker's gavel. So I wonder if there's just sort of a baked in this that we haven't really come to terms with to accept yet, and that's why it feels like it's going to be a lot worse. I could be dead wrong, but it turns out the needle moves back and forth, but that window is really a lot smaller than it used to be.
Yeah, maybe we'll get another trickle instead of a red one, a blue one. Gotta love the terms that get popularized, a trickle instead of a wave. But on the Alabama, the primary coming up here soon, whereas that's most of the action, I think, more than the general. It's getting nasty out there. In a second, we'll be talking to Craig Monger there at 1819 News about this AG's race, and Steve Marshall pushing back against the way Jay Mitchell is using some things to go up against Catherine Robertson. But it's not just here in Montgomery and like in a statewide race like that. It's getting a little nasty all across the board, even at the like state house level.
Yeah, it's kind of an interesting thing going on here. Tommy Tuberville has soaked up a lot of the individual private donations. People have given, as much as they can to coach. Everybody bet big on Ainsworth, I think, early, and thinking he was going to be the next governor. But as it turned out, it's going to be Tommy Tuberville. So all this money that would be spent on politics, they're having to make up for it. But what's happened is Coach said he wasn't going to take any PAC money. He's not taking any PAC money. So they have bled the individual donors dry, and that's why he has this enormous war chest. And now you have all these PACs, because Tommy Tuberville's not using their money. All of these PACs are kind of like the big players in our legislative races. That it's not the individual donors as it historically has been. And what do we know about PACs? I mean, it's not like there's a PAC of a group of people, that have ideals or aspirations for the state. It's like special interest money. It's the big mules. It's out of state gambling. It's things like that are the big players right now in our legislative politics. So it's kind of fascinating to me. On the AG question, I always thought that was bottled up. They got real chippy at the beginning, Jay Mitchell and Caston Robertson. And then I think they looked at it and they said, man, we can't do this for the next year or whatever. And now here we are a month out. They've opened the bottle back up. And it's just the way it's going to be until we go to vote.
Well, and, as you're describing the Tuberville dynamic, it makes me think that because Tuberville has that war chest and actually does want to get some big changes done in Montgomery, especially just whittling down what is the executive branch of government here in Montgomery for the great state of Alabama. It seems as though they realize the big special interest players, maybe parts of the old system that could go kaput if Tuberville gets in there, that their only chance is to run the legislature and stop him in big ways and small ways wherever they can. So that makes sense that these are sort of the battle lines, that you got Tuberville with that one huge, support and coming in from governor. So let's take a different vector of attack to at least slow the guy down.
Well, but here's something you need to think about. What's Tuberville going to do with all that money? He's not going to need that to beat Kim McFeeters or Doug Jones. I think he's got a war chest that if he wants to, that he could be a player in some of these races later on. Maybe post election, but he could do some things to put some pressure on these lawmakers who don't want to play ball. I don't think there's going to be a whole lot of those. I think that he'll get whatever he wants out of the House. The Senate's a little murkier, but Tuberville's going to be the guy riding in on the white horse, proceed to be, that's going to save us from the 10 years of Ivy. And he's going to have a lot of popular support, get a lot of things done. Some of it you and I probably aren't going to like, but he's still going to have that perception, and that's going to be to his benefit.
And just let's end on this, us meeting there at the old State House, good riddance that they're getting rid of that thing. Yeah, this year, we were often saying it's like high school down there, but it's especially like a high school pep rally when Tuberville showed up. I'm like, you've got these middle-aged men be like, oh, I got to go see Coach. And it cracked me up of how much folks are ready to get behind him and support him. I think you're right that you're not going to see too many publicly, at least, push him back.
No, but you got to remember, it's just the situation. Everybody thought Will Ainsworth was going to be the next governor. And they put all their eggs in the Will Ainsworth basket. And now that Ainsworth's not going to be governor, now you really got to pour it on thick with Tuberville because he's going to be governor. So I think there's some of that. But let me tell you this. They do the same thing when Katie Britt's in the State House. They do the same thing when Bruce Pearl or Nick Saban come to the State House. I mean, it's just what these guys do. They love to go chase the stars.
Yeah, Saban, our lovely hometown senator. It makes sense. It makes sense for all sorts of reasons. I appreciate it always, Jeff. And if folks want to check out what you're working on, what you're up to, how can they do so?
X.com/Jeff_Poor, but more importantly, 1819 News, 1819news.com.
Well, talk again soon. Thanks, Jeff. Again, that's Jeff Poor, host of the Jeff Poor Show and editor-in-chief there at 1819news.com. And in a second, we'll be talking to Craig Monger of 1819 News about this what Steve Marshall is calling deceptive campaign fodder. Jay Mitchell's use of convicted Montgomery cop to target his opponent, Catherine Robertson. And I've left it open, by the way, for Jay Mitchell to come on the show. We've interviewed Catherine a few times now. But, you know, I'm not one to usually go and, like, chase people down. If they want to come on, I'm easy to get in touch with. They're always welcome. But we'll get into the details of, well, being in the thick of campaign season as the primary is right around the corner. Got to hit a break. But first, this part of the program brought to you by Pest Pro Services and their Pest Pro Ashley and that great team are ready to help you out with any and all of your pest control needs. Could be you didn't get termite inspections done. You're kind of waiting late on this. Well, you can still get that done, and they can lay down year-round protection to make sure your home is actually safe from those little nasty things that we call termites. But, of course, 'tis the season where all these bugs, all the insects are coming alive. So if you want to make sure your home is protected, get their basic protection plan. It's a monthly subscription model, allows you to control cost over the year, very reasonably priced. And then, of course, you can add on top of that things like mosquito treatment when the time is right. Or perhaps you even get like a squirrel in the attic or something in your crawl space. They can take care of that too there at Pest Pro Services. So you can always learn more at ppsriverengine.com or just search Pest Pro Services on the Book of Faces, a very active Facebook page there, or just call them direct, 265-9990. That's 265-9990, and be sure to tell them that Joey, that fella on the radio, sent you. We'll be right back after this.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, but whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings 6 till 9 and afternoons 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Welcome to Eclectic Coins, Montgomery's largest coin dealer, specializing in buying and selling investment-grade gold and silver coins. And they have a large selection of rare coins and coins from around the world. Visit them at 543 Northeastern Boulevard or on the web at eclecticcoins.com. Eclectic Coins, where collectors who know go.
Yes?
Yeah, I'm Bill. You called about some breakers tripping?
Oh, yes, Bill. My brother-in-law says you can do almost anything.
That's me. Not much I hadn't seen.
Do you really want someone who does almost anything in your electric box? Think about that. Because each year, thousands of home fires are caused by faulty wiring. That's why you want a professional, like the electricians at Crosby Electric.
Bill, how's it going? Bill, ooh, are you okay?
Oh, yeah, well, I didn't really need my eyebrows anyway.
At Crosby Electric, all technicians undergo rigorous safety training, as well as background checks, drug testing, and continuing education.
Bill, you think maybe I should call a real electrician?
No, these little slip-ups happen. Everybody does it.
Really?
No, not really. When you need professional electric work, or you just like someone to assess your home for safety, call the experts at Crosby Electric, 272-2085, or visit us at crosbyelectric.com.
Hunger doesn't always look the way you think, but it's closer than you realize. On Saturday, May 9th, join the Budget Bites battle at the Heart of Alabama Food Bank and turn awareness into action. Teams will go head-to-head, creating a full meal for $5 per person or less in just 60 minutes. Every $1 raise provides 5 meals for neighbors in need. Now we need you. Register your team today at hafb.org. Deadline is May 2nd. Be part of the solution. Cook with purpose. Fight hunger one meal at a time.
This is Jonathan with Oswald's Apparel and Footwear in Prattville. With all that's changed in the last decade, I really thought that radio advertising was dead, but I was wrong. We opened our store during the pandemic, and we wouldn't have been near successful without advertising on Blue Water. Practically every day, someone comes in for the first time and tells us they heard about Oswald's on the radio. I highly recommend advertising with Blue Water.
Blue Water Broadcasting is the #1 most listened to radio group in the River region. Find out how to put this reach to work for your business. Call us to find out how we can help. Blue Water Broadcasting. Local folk helping local business.
When it comes to your mortgage, who you work with matters. And this is one decision where local makes all the difference. Don't fall victim to flashy mailers, spam calls, or 1-800 lenders who don't even know your name, much less your neighborhood. Those lenders are often sitting in some faraway state, reading from a script, and chasing volume, not relationships. A local lender understands the market you live in, or should I say that we live in. At Alabama Home Mortgage, you can look at us in the eye and trust us with one of the biggest financial decisions you'll ever make. Local lenders don't disappear after closing day. Our reputation is built right here, one family at a time. So before you pick up the phone and call a stranger, remember us, Kim Williams and Madeline Cannon at Alabama Home Mortgage. You deserve guidance from someone who knows the community because they're a part of it. Give us a call at Alabama Home Mortgage today at 334-567-4223 or visit us online at myalabamahomemortgage.com. That's Alabama Home Mortgage, because there is a difference in mortgage companies. NMLS 1586368, Equal Housing Lender.
Rich Thomas Weather is brought to you by Clark Heating, Air, and Plumbing. It's time to schedule your spring tune-up with Clark Heating, Air, and Plumbing. Don't wait. Schedule today. Give them a call at 334-277-2125. Alabama certification number 88007.
Rich Thomas Weather.
Our big warming trend continues today. Clouds give way to a mostly sunny day with a high temperature in the middle 80s today. Mostly clear tonight. The nights are more reasonable with overnight low temperatures in the mid to upper 50s. Expect middle 80s to continue on Thursday and Friday with a good bit of sunshine. If you have Friday evening plans, I think we're dry through the evening hours, but the risk of showers begins in the overnight hours Friday night. And there will be periods of scattered showers and thunderstorms at times over the weekend, Saturday, Saturday night, and Sunday. And our weather app will keep you on top of the action, of course. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
Budget Floors and More has the best prices. Carpet as low as 69 cents per square foot. LVP starting at $1.29 a square foot. Sheet vinyl as low as 65 cents per square foot. And the lowest prices on flooring installation supplies. Budget Floors and More across from Delray to Publix.
Live, local talk. The River Region's most trusted voice for news and opinion. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Anyway, welcome back, folks. I'm your host, Joey Clark, and on the phone, joining us now, welcoming him back to the show. It's been too long. We have Craig Monger with 1819 News. Craig, how are you, sir?
Is this thing on? I don't know. How does this work?
I think it's working. Yeah.
How you doing? How you doing, Joe? It's so great to hear you.
Great to hear you. Now, this story, we are in the thick of things when it starts getting this nasty. This is the Attorney General's race, Jay Mitchell and Catherine Robertson. And let's lay out what's happening here in this race and how it's getting a little dirty.
Okay, so yeah, it started with these two to get a little bit shaky a few months ago, or actually last year, either whenever there was accusations of carpetbagging, et cetera, et cetera. But most recently, they latched on to, or I should say that the Jay Mitchell campaign has latched on to the case long ago, it's 10 years ago, is when the shooting happened, of Cody Smith, who was a Montgomery police officer, and he was charged with murder in an on-duty shooting.
Right.
And he actually got convicted for a lower charge of manslaughter, got sentenced to 14 years, went through all of his appeal, and years and years later in 2024, Attorney General Steve Marshall's office takes over the prosecution of it and then gives him a plea deal where he pleads guilty to the same crime of manslaughter, but he lets him walk free that day on time served. So Jay Mitchell is using that case to sort of go against Robertson, who was obviously involved in the case.
Well, let me just pause you there, because the way you described it, I think that's an accurate summation of the facts of what happened with that. That sounds like that's a feather in the cap of the Attorney General's office, Steve Marshall's office, and Catherine Robertson, of course, helping to run that office, like that they actually gave Cody Smith a deal.
Yeah, and so that is actually, and Robertson has herself mentioned that as a sort of win of undoing what they thought was an unjust prosecution. From Mitchell's perspective, he is accusing their office of taking over the prosecution and thereby being the prosecutorial entity in that case and giving him a deal. Now, I am currently working on whether or not it was even an option for the Attorney General's office to drop the case after it had reached this Rule 32 position, whenever Marshall actually took it over. But it is true that Marshall's office did have the ability to take over prosecution of the case even from the indictment. And so I guess that's what Mitchell is saying, is that they were responsible for letting this person who he believes to be innocent actually go to prison.
Yeah, and just to quote from your story here, this is what Mitchell said, and I guess the political attack, quoting him, Montgomery's collapse in policing and rise in violent crime happened entirely on Catherine Robertson's watch and is largely due to her office's wrongful prosecution of former Montgomery police officer Cody Smith. In 10 years as chief counsel to the Attorney General, Miss Robertson has done nothing to stop the bleeding. The time for excuses is over. Citizens in the River Region deserve an Attorney General they can trust to restore safety in their communities. Woo! Oh, that stinks. That stinks, not stings. Man. Anyway, I'll characterize it that way, but we are in the middle of political season.
Yeah. I mean, and it is true that Montgomery has seen significant issues in its police staffing, and I think that you could put the prosecution of Cody Smith as a pivotal moment in that when the bleeding really started.
Sure.
But let's put the blame of that where it goes, and that is on the office of the mayor and the district attorney at the time, Gerald Bailey. And that's who actually prosecuted it. It bears mentioning at the time that this was in the same year there were a lot of high-profile police shootings across the country. The media in the area played up the racial angle of it in a big way. So this is a high-profile case, and it was clear to me that the leadership in Montgomery desperately wanted to see Cody Smith go to jail, at least in my opinion. And I think that they worked really hard to get that done. Now, that being said, the Supreme Court did grant it did not grant immunity to Smith in the shooting, either qualified immunity as a police officer or stand your ground immunity as a citizen. But it did grant him a change of venue, and because he didn't want to have it in Montgomery, and also compelled a judge to recuse himself because the judge said during, I believe it was pretrial during the initial immunity hearing, that he did not find Smith's statements to be credible. So this is a case that that was prosecuted, and it went through every series of appeals up to and including the Supreme Court that Jay Mitchell was on, and they didn't overturn the case. So when it finally gets to Marshall's office, and he, again, I'm still trying to get clarification on whether or not he could have dropped the case altogether. But the one thing that is clear is that Marshall and it seems, according to Robertson as well was involved, they did a thing that after years of taking this through appeals all the way to the Supreme Court, they did a thing that let him walk out of jail that day. Now, trust me, I get it. If you believe that you're innocent, I've talked to Cody Smith's family, his wife, who I talked to extensively before. She doesn't love the fact that he had to make a deal where he had to plead guilty. And I understand that if you think your husband's innocent, you don't want him to plead guilty to a crime. But at the end of the day, he took the deal that let him walk out of prison that day.
Well,
and that was the result of it.
And we'll let voters try to understand this and make their own decision out of it. But there's a lot. It's not just this race. There's a lot of silly stuff being slung around all of Alabama as we get closer to the primary day. Now, on this same race, though, I'm seeing here former Montgomery Mayor Todd Strange has dropped a radio ad endorsing Catherine Robertson for AG here in this race. Yeah,
well, that's actually what kicked off this whole thing was that Jay Mitchell was responding to Todd Strange's endorsement of Catherine Robertson, these radio ads that he was doing. So yeah, it's full, and the endorsements have been flooding in since then. And then the endorsements are, funnily enough, and they always do whenever races get this spicy, is the endorsements now come with a little bit of a slam on the opponent. The Professional Firefighters Association actually just came out and endorsed Robertson and mentioned a ruling that Mitchell had given that they thought was less than ideal. So the temperature is rising, and that's not a pun because it's the Firefighters Association.
And then one last thing, this settlement, it's not to me a lot of money, $12.2 million that the Attorney General announced, saying we have no tolerance for child exploitation. I've talked for a while. Erica Thomas has talked to me about this platform called Roblox, and it seems like a pretty skeezy, straight up demonic place in certain corners of it, at least, and how they weren't cooperating with, in particular, protecting kids on this sort of virtual kind of immersive sandbox platform. So in a way, this is a bit of a victory, but I saw the price tag and didn't think it was too much money.
Yeah, I mean, it's not too much money. I think the biggest win isn't in the money. And on the money side, If another state receives another settlement that's better than ours, then the state secured a clause that lets them collect anything additional. So there could be more money coming in the future. But the biggest win comes in the policies that Roblox is having to implement that it did not have before. And you're spot on in your analysis. It's a creepy place. It's essentially Reddit with games, and anyone who knows Reddit knows how deep and dark and demonic that place can get. So the fact that they're having to enact policies to, age restrictions, age verification, ways that they're trying to keep people from kids from getting around the rules and keeping kids safe when they're interacting online. I think that's the biggest win besides the 12.2 million.
Well, Craig, it's great having you back on the show. And by the way, Eddie snuck in the middle of our interview. Hey, Eddie, how you doing?
Good. Hey, Craig.
Hi, Snookums. How are you?
I'm doing well. Can't wait to see you again, brother.
So good to hear you. Absolutely. It's going to happen soon.
Can't wait.
Well, I appreciate it and appreciate the work you're doing. Great to have you back on, man. We'll talk again soon.
Absolutely. Big love, you too. See ya.
See you, homie.
And Craig Monger there with 1819 News. How you doing today, man?
Oh, pretty good. Busy morning so far, but
so far
pretty good. Yeah, got a busy day ahead. So.
Busy day ahead, busy morning. All
yeah,
right.
yeah. Getting ready for the fact that one day I'm just gonna pack my bags and leave.
Oh, really? You're there? Like we're in the same headspace then.
There are days, Joey. Yes, there are days.
No, that thing I wrote that seemed to go fairly viral.
Yeah, it was good.
I mean, the punchline was, with God, I don't have to decide today. I just live another day.
Yeah, but
don't worry myself towards him.
I like some of the facts and things that you brought up.
Oh, sure. I think it doesn't just apply to Stephen Reed, but he's the one who made me think of this.
Yeah,
there's so many so-called leaders in the town. I'm like, what are you leading? You might have a title, you might have a thing, but again, you come across more as an effect than a cause of things.
Yeah.
Like it's sort of frustrating how I've sent it to City Councilman Andrew Szymanski. He'll be joining us in the 2:00 hour.
Excellent.
And we will be talking to him, in part about that, but we're also going to talk more of the business of the city. But there is an element of especially because I think Szymanski's not part of the old school.
No, he's not.
By any means.
Being a little bit of an outsider, plus he looks at things from a much more of a business perspective, which I really appreciate.
Right. And it's just a matter of moving in the right direction. But there's also just the reality of maybe the place is a little cursed. Like the amount of folks, I got a lot of feedback, and some was just you didn't even read it. But some was very thoughtful feedback of why people move. Even people who love Montgomery to this day. A guy I used to rent a house from who's now in the Huntsville area said he felt what I was writing, even though he loves Montgomery in many ways. And downtown, there are good things. Downtown used to be a very skeezy place.
Yes.
It's not as much anymore.
No, but it could still be better.
It could be. Yeah, a lot of things across the board could be better. But even somebody who loved Montgomery had to move away for reasons. And I've just noticed that with my family. I've noticed that with a lot of folks, that sometimes it doesn't come down. I'll put it this way. If I stay or if I go, it will probably have very little to do with who the mayor is and what is the political jibber jabber going on right now in Montgomery. It'll have much more to do with family and God.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, hope that's how you base your decisions, or unless you're just looking for a place to, hit the bong and go snorkeling all day.
No, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. I did dress like I belong in the Caribbean today, yes.
Sorry, that's what I thought of.
There's nothing wrong with that, Joey.
Actually, it's not a bad life. It's pretty simple.
It's very simple.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just too simple for me.
Saving souls with
That's
Eddie
it.
Bader.
That's it, man. I'm trying.
Now, speaking of saving souls, the President of the United States did a thing.
The old Bible reading deal?
He did.
I wanted to talk to you about that yesterday. I'm glad you brought that up.
Well, and it's not just him. It's all sorts of folks. Now, you remember the show Everybody Loves Raymond?
Yes, I do.
Remember Patricia Heaton?
Yes, I do. I always liked her.
Yeah, when I was a kid, I'm like, who's this woman?
Oh,
and
man,
now,
I always liked her.
Oh, no, but I was a kid when that show was on.
Malcolm in the Middle, too.
I always kind of liked the older brother.
Yeah, but of course.
Yeah. And the dad. As a young man, no, I admit it. As a young man, I didn't find the female character. I didn't get it. I was still a little boy.
Well, his mother and my mother, same person.
Mm-hmm. Oh, the mother is. Oh, yeah,
same person.
Anyway, Patricia Heaton's doing some of the readings. A bunch of celebrities. Let's hope they don't. I don't know. I've been using the Hollow app for like prayer and stuff, but like every time it's like, hey, it's Mark Wahlberg here. And I'm like, I can't have Mark Wahlberg lead me in the Lord's Prayer. Like, I can't do that.
Bunch.
Yeah,
Joey,
I can't.
Mark.
No, or I think of him in like, what's the hardcore gangster movie that came out with him and Leo DiCaprio?
Yes.
That Scorsese did.
Sniper or Shooter was another.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, but I
The
don't know.
Departed. I think of him in The Departed. And I'm like, I can't. Then I start thinking of Alec Baldwin in that movie, and I'm like, I'm supposed to be praying right now, Mark.
Yeah.
Anyway, he seems like a genuine guy, but I don't know. Some of these folks you come in to read, you're like, might be a little distracting.
That's what I keep waiting for. I'm waiting for someone over the top that comes in there. But do you know who the guests are going to be, or are they
6 different cabinet members? Probably the vice president, probably Hegseth, Rubio.
Hegseth, yeah.
Yeah, there are going to be a few people of the administration, but I've yet to listen to Trump do his reading. So you want to listen to it together?
Yeah, you got some?
Yeah. This is 2 Chronicles 7, chapter 7, 11 through 22. So let's listen in to the President of the United States read the Bible in honor of America's 250th celebration.
Thus Solomon finished the house of the Lord and the king's house, and all that came into Solomon's heart to make in the house of the Lord, and in his own house he prosperously effected. And the Lord appeared to Solomon by night and said to him, I have heard your prayer and have chosen this place to myself for a house of sacrifice. If I shut up heaven, that there be no rain, or if I command the locusts to devour the land, or if I send pestilence among my people, if my people, which are called by my name, shall humble themselves and pray and seek my face and turn from their wicked ways, then will I hear from heaven and will forgive their sin and will heal their land. Now my eyes shall be open and my ears attent to the prayer that is made in this place. For now I have chosen and sanctified this house, that my name may be there forever, and my eyes and my heart shall be there perpetually. And as for you, if you will walk before me, as David your father walked, and do according to all that I have commanded you, and shall observe my statutes and my judgments, then will I establish the throne of my kingdom according to as I have covenanted with David your father, saying, there shall not fail you as a man to be ruler in Israel. But if you turn away and forsake my statutes and my commandments, which I have set before you, and shall go and serve other gods and worship them, then will I pluck them up from the roots out of my land which I have given them, and this house which I have sanctified for my name will I cast out of my sight, and will make it to be a proverb and a byword among nations. And this house which is high shall be an astonishment to every one that passes by it, so that he shall say, why has the Lord done thus to this land and to this house? And it shall be answered, because they forsook the Lord God of their fathers, which brought them forth out of the land of Egypt, and laid hold on other gods, and worshiped them and served them. Therefore has he brought all this evil upon them.
Again, the President of the United States reading 2 Chronicles 7, 11 through 22. If my people, which are called by my name, shall humble themselves and pray and seek my face and turn from their wicked ways, then will I hear from heaven and will forgive their sin and will heal their land. You got to wonder how that applies not just to the city or the state, but the nation and to all nations.
Mm-hmm.
And often I think there is a element of, well, we've talked about it before. We're talking about it during Lent into Easter. There are a lot of folks that want Christ without the cross and love without justice and judgment. And when you especially read these sorts of things, especially the Lord's words direct to Solomon, you realize there is love. There is, reminds me of, one of the Psalms that David wrote, a broken and contrite heart is a worthy sacrifice to God. Like if you do give up your heart, you do humble yourself, you do actually repent and change your ways, the grace, it's astounding, the grace that can be given to you, more than you deserve. Yet, you have a choice. You could turn away, you could go, as it says in here, worship other gods, and that can show up in a lot of different ways. Doesn't have to be like, oh, I'm at the temple of Artemis or Athena or anything like that. It could be money, it could be lust, it could be all sorts of things. Politics, power. So it's interesting to hear those words read by this president. But I liked it. I think he did a good job with what is not exactly the easiest passage to slip off the tongue.
Just the fact that they're doing it. When's the last time something like this has been done?
Yeah, and I got into this super thread, and I didn't go over it yesterday, but somebody collected like all the favorite books of all the presidents. And without going into the whole thing, there's a lot of, classical Greek stuff, and but it started to get to where it was just Shakespeare, the complete works of William Shakespeare, where a lot of them said that.
Mm-hmm.
And the Bible.
Yeah.
The complete works of William Shakespeare and the Bible. And as you get into modern presidents, I wonder how many would actually say that. And, there's a lot more in this world to learn and love and do and whatnot. But there's something about those two things. That the man that is more like quoted without being known to be quoted, Shakespeare in the English language, and then the Bible itself. Like that's a pretty good basis for where a lot of the knowledge that has been inherited in our civilization has been passed on. Now, do I expect everybody to go to complete works of Shakespeare and like a huge study Bible and be reading it all hours of the day? No, I don't expect that. And in fact, I think there are some folks that couldn't quote you chapter and verse, couldn't quote you a line from Hamlet, and yet the way they live their lives honors both those traditions in simple ways and profound ways. So it's not just about knowing stuff. But it is partly a big responsibility of our leaders to know that stuff.
Yes.
And to not just know it and say it, but embody it and live it. Amen. Anyway, we'll be right back after this.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
With spring officially here, Pizza Perfect has sprung a great deal for April. Get a free order of breadsticks or cinnamon sticks with the purchase of any large or medium pizza. That'll make the whole family smile. Pizza Perfect's amazing buffet includes pizza as well as spaghetti, breadsticks, salad, dessert, and drink for only $13. The buffet is available Monday through Saturday for lunch and for dinner on Tuesday, Friday, and Saturday. Pizza Perfect is also available for pickup and delivery. Pizza Perfect on Coliseum Boulevard in Eastbrook.
We get this question all the time.
Do you handle that?
Buying or selling a home?
Yes.
Commercial?
Yes.
Land or investments?
Absolutely. Hannah and Eddie Realty Group. One team.
Every real estate move. 334-322-0662.
For too long, Alabama's statewide news companies have shamed us for our conservative Christian values. Alabama deserves a news company that cherishes our culture, a company that isn't bought and paid for by the powers that be. 1819 News is that company. Run by Alabamians for Alabamians, 1819 News celebrates what is good and beautiful about our state, while exposing those who work against our values in secret. Just go to 1819news.com to learn more. Subscribe to our newsletter. That's 1819news.com.
The River Region's News Talk Station. News Talk 93.1, WACV. News Talk 93.1.
You're listening
to Joey Clark.
Joey Clark.
And his old pal, Mr. Bader.
It's
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. Couldn't get Austin Brain going on the phone?
Could not.
He must be busy.
The guy, too.
He must be busy.
He's very busy. Well, you see what's going on in the market today, in the world today in general.
Just the world in general is nuts. But what do you think of this SPLC thing?
I found it very interesting, and excuse my French, but about damn time.
Amen. Like, it's so frustrating. Like, I remember a dinner with Jack Campbell, and I remember the guy I'm thinking of, and the other guy I'm thinking of. Lovely people, actually. Great dinner conversationalists. And one of them worked as a lawyer for the SPLC, and I'm like, well, what do you do? He goes, well, right now we're going to case somebody who can't pay a fine. They're stuck in jail. I'm like, I think that's
that seems honorable.
Yes. And then you hear about the more political side of things and the huge, hundreds of millions of dollars, tens of millions of dollars in donor networks. And just, I don't know. There is about damn time, as you're right.
About damn time, man.
Yeah.
I just, frustrating because everybody, and I guess every dog has its day. It's just a matter of waiting, but still.
Let's go to line 1. You're on there. Who's this?
Hola.
Hey, Eric. How are you?
How you doing, fellas?
Pretty good, man. How about yourself?
Doing fantastical. I don't have anything constructive to say other than, Joey, I read your article yesterday, and, like I told you, your talent is going to demand a bigger stage sooner rather than later, probably, and you shouldn't miss out on any opportunities like that may present themselves. This place ain't going nowhere.
That's true, but, what was that, Eddie?
To hell in a handbasket. That's where this place is going.
Well, I mean, like I said, it ain't going nowhere.
It's how you hear it, Eddie.
Yep.
Well, I appreciate you saying that. I don't know. I'm at a point in my life where I am generally like, it's not the money. It's not like I just want to go see cool things. And like, I don't know. There's an element of I want it to be deeply meaningful.
Yeah.
In the best way possible. And
I
don't have to make the decision today or even tomorrow. But just kind of, I don't know, do the right things each day. And I think the wind will blow me in the right direction.
Yeah. I mean, there's opportunities that come and experiences that get to come with those. That's kind of, I like to fly by the seat of my pants. I really don't like planning stuff.
Agree.
Like, let's go see what happens. And, sometimes it takes you to faraway places, and sometimes it brings you right outside the house to a new experience you didn't know was even available to you.
This is true.
And, so just keep an open mind. If you get an opportunity, don't, and I know you're a thoughtful guy. You don't need some slacker painter to tell you nothing.
You might be surprised.
Keep your eyes open and be ready to move, man. Sometimes good opportunities come, and they don't always come back. You know what I mean? So,
well, I appreciate
make the most
you
of
saying
everything
that.
you got.
I really do
And hey,
appreciate
you're a talented dude. I remember when you was a shy kid on Dan Morse, and he was baiting you into talk on the radio. Now look at you.
Oh my!
You have come a long, long, long way, sir. And I'm happy for you, dude. I'm super impressed with you. Your parents ought to be proud of you. I'm sure they are, and I'm sure your mom's looking down thinking, what a fantastic job that you and her dad did, or you and her husband did, but you know what I mean. y'all have done. They did well, and you have represented your family well, sir. So, and Eddie, you ain't doing too half-bad either. I gotta.
Thank you, brother.
Next time you go to Jamaica, I want a full-length video though.
Well, you don't want to be truly full length. Like, let's do from the shoulders up.
Yeah,
all
I
right?
think that's best idea. After the reviews I've received, yeah.
Well, tell them to stop looking so close.
The heart wants what the heart wants, man.
Well, I appreciate it, Eric. Adios, sir.
See you, Eric.
All right, adios. Tengo un buen día, güey.
272-9228. This part of the program brought to you by Invista Advisors, and there at Invista, Austin Barreco, the entire team there are ready to help you out. Of course, Austin running the brokerage desk there, and the master, the chief investment strategist over there, Brant McDonald. Y'all been hearing him for years on these airways with Greg Udell. They can, of course, help you managing that stock portfolio, managing your assets. But if you're looking for beyond just investment advice, if you're looking for somebody to give you financial planning just across the board, any concern you might have, it could be something as straightforward as you need life insurance, you're about to start a family. Or it could be you start a small business, you've had some success, but you don't really have a lot of money saved, like just on the side.
A lot of times you need an exit plan.
And most of your money, most of your value is actually tied up in the business and the churn of the business. So yeah, maybe you do need that exit plan, or it could be you just need to set up end of life concerns and so many other things that might come up in trying to create that long-term financial plan. So if you want to learn more, you can always go to InvistaAdvisors.com or just call them direct at 387-0094. That's 387-0094. And be sure to tell them that Joey and Eddie, those fellas on the radio, sent you.
From the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusada, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.
and technology, how nutritional supplements can help you.
Listen to Winning Wellness every Saturday at 10 a.m.
This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368, an equal housing lender.
Running a facility is already demanding. You don't have time for miscleaning, sick days, or inconsistent results. At Janney King Gulf Coast, we have a proven method to solve those problems. Our franchise owners are trained and supported, and our franchise model means the people cleaning your building care about the outcome as much as you do. If your cleaning company is creating more work instead of preventing it, it's time for a clean that you can count on. Visit JanneyKingCleans.com to learn more.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers.
It's time for Montgomery's conversational radio show. It's news and views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. What a beautiful day. Thank God for another beautiful day. Seems like the show's going that way, and Montgomery still needs a new mayor.
Yeah.
See, Trump extended the whole Iran ceasefire negotiations deadline or something
Don't know
like
who else
that.
to bomb.
Right. Right.
Whose backyard we got to blow up to get this thing moving?
I have noticed, like, it's with Fox News and the Wall Street Journal and, like, New York Post, like a lot of these, especially Murdoch things, they're so, like, they don't want peace. They want war. And then as the war goes on, they want to criticize every
Both
little
sides.
action
Every
of the
little
war.
thing.
It's crazy.
Yep.
Corporate media. My goodness. Can't
I used to
stand
say
it.
it would sell papers, but it's not even papers no more. It gets clicks now, right? That's
Yeah, suppose. Let's go to Papa B. Hey, Papa B, how you doing?
All right. Well, it's not just Fox News. I mean, honestly, the Democrats can't afford for Donald Trump to win
Oh, true.
in Iran. That would just be disastrous for them, for him to be able to stick in his thumb and pull out a plum.
Oh, yeah, I
That
think,
wasn't the way of mine.
I guess the difference for me is like MS Now and CNN and New York Times, they're always looking to like get Trump at whatever angle. It seems in particular that like Fox News is always like, look, Trump balked there. Trump didn't, he's not being tough enough there. They look for kind of any opportunity where he's like, he's not bombing enough. And I'm like, come
Monday
on.
morning quarterback.
Yeah.
It's easy to do. Isn't it? By the way, it was good to hear from Eric the dog. I like Eric.
Oh, Eric's a great guy.
Good dude.
Solid dude.
Always insightful. Yeah. So, but anyway, I'm calling about this SPLC, as you might imagine.
Yes.
Boy, what a mess. You know, apparently, and of course, I knew it. I don't know how many other people might have known it, but these low-down folks have decided that they are like a miniature FBI over there. They just go about doing whatever
They want. That's right, with impunity.
You know, just do whatever they want. It's free reign, free willing. Go do whatever it is that you think you can do and get away with it. And you're completely justified in doing so by whatever, you know. And of course, you know, naturally, our DOJ 1.0, that would be the DOJ prior to Bondi, which she was more of a change agent than anything else. She came in there. She was the one that really fired a bunch of folks and hired a bunch of folks. But DOJ 1.0, I guess they already knew about it. Who didn't know about it? Everybody knew about it. Who didn't know about this, Joey? Is this like some big, huge secret?
No. I think they're
everyday folks just ain't paying attention, and then there are other folks that are drinking the Kool-Aid that like won't believe anything. But yeah, I think if you're paying attention, you just got eyes. Yeah, you see it.
Yeah, sure. Well, yeah. So it turns out that Jesse Smollett, if you're French, or Smollett, if you just talk Southerner, he was just like a symptom. The SPLC is the disease. They are the Smollett. They're just Smollett machine over there. They're a Smollett factory, just making crap up, trying to get. I guess similar. I mean, similar to what this Fox News you're just saying. They can't sell papers, so they're just trying to make something up in order to keep things going.
Right.
And that what's going on there. And not only that, but also breaking law after law, infringing on people's God-given rights.
Who do they think they are in entrapping somebody? The FBI?
Exactly. Who gave no government, no people, no vote, no anything gave them the authority to do any of the things that they've done.
They did it themselves. They gave their own.
Well, and it does make me think that perhaps this was a carve-out operation. The feds thought, well, we probably shouldn't do this with our own fingerprints. Let's let the SPLC do it, and then kind of feed us back information. Essentially, it could just be a huge web of influence on an unofficial basis. And just the way the operation's done, the way that information would be kind of laundered and funneled and used across the board to smear whoever got in the way, whoever was inconvenient in the moment. Pretty fascinating.
Well, I think it's about right. They were operating as a contractor for the DOJ, type thing, dark operator, a dark contractor for the DOJ, because everything was being done behind the scenes. They weren't, officially, quote unquote, contracted. It's just like, let's see if we can y'all do this for us? Can y'all make that happen? Because you remember how much hay the Democrats made out of the Unite the Right rally?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness! I'm telling you what, that was part of the tearing down of the statues right there, of all those Confederate statues.
Yeah, this is
Joe Biden himself. Don't you remember all those folks coming out with torches, like veins popping out of their necks and mad and everything? He knew good and well already that was just all manufactured.
Oh, absolutely. And Biden almost wasn't a good enough actor. It came across that way to me.
He did, didn't he? Yeah, right.
Yeah, but to your point, it was between 2015 and 2023, the SPLC paid a particular guy who helped set up the Unite the Right rally. From the indictment itself, it says F-37 was a member of the online leadership chat group that planned the 2017 Unite the Right event in Charlottesville, Virginia, and attended the event at the direction of the SPLC. F-37 made racist postings under the supervision of the SPLC and helped coordinate transportation to the event for several attendees. Between 2015 and 2023, the SPLC secretly paid this guy more than $270,000. Wow. Yeah. And here, to your point as well, Papa B, you set it up perfectly. Here's Joe Biden talking about
for president in 2020 because of what I saw in Charlottesville.
Yeah.
In August of 2017. Extremists coming out of the woods, carrying torches, their veins bulging from their necks, carrying Nazi swastikas. And chanting the same exact anti-Semitic bile that was heard in Germany in the early 30s.
Right.
Okay. By the way, one of my favorite people, I haven't followed him as much lately, but over the years, has been Michael Malice.
Yeah.
And Malice was very much kind of an anarchist libertarian, but he knew a lot of these hardcore right-wing folks. He was doing a book on the new right that kind of documented all this weird new online right-wing space. And he was planning on going to Charlottesville with a Superman shirt, but it was a rainbow flag one, super gay, and he was going to give a speech on his top 10 drag queens in no particular order, just to troll the crowd. I was like, okay, man, I love some of these people that just and some have survived and still have great careers, and it's awesome. He did not go to Charlottesville, by the way, but I wish he had to give that speech.
Dude.
That's incredible. Yeah. Well, but now that was just one thing. Apparently, they had their little fingers in all kinds of things. I mean, here's one thing I think about. These nearly mythological white nationalists. Where are they? I mean, am I a white nationalist because I'm white and I love the country?
Yep.
I guess so.
Yep.
And I'm sure I've been investigated. Pretty much if you live within 500 miles of Talladega with the, a Bubba pull rope thing, you've been investigated. Maybe longer than that, maybe farther away than that. But anyway, so Merrick Garland, he did not help get rid of not hardly any illegal aliens. I probably want to say none.
None.
Okay. During his 4 years in office. No, he devoted his attention to these hard to find white nationalists. And I mean, he laid the investigations on thick the whole time. They finally came up with about 12 folks up in Northern California that, were indicted for something or other. I don't even know what they were indicted for. And oh, how the champagne corks popped at the FBI. Oh, we found some white nationalists. Finally, after intensive search of the country, they found 12 folks. Bunch of idiots. It looks like a sitcom almost. That's what they're doing. Manufacturing hate in order to fight hate.
And there were also moments where Trump clearly played into it, not knowing. I don't even, who knows, maybe he knew what he was doing. But the one debate where he clearly maybe had COVID and was on something where he wouldn't shut up.
Yep.
Where at one point he goes, "Proud Boys, stand back and stand by." And I'm like, what is it? And by the way, Gavin McGinnis is actually, the guy who ran the Proud Boys was cursing out this dude who's trying to get the Proud Boys to come to the Unite the Right rally. So what a weird web all this is. Like, goodness.
I know it. It's just, no, Trump did love to punk them, but as his national campaign strategist, whoever it might have been, was probably having a cow about that time. It's like, what are you saying?
I think what happened is he didn't know who the Proud Boys were, and he's being asked to denounce them. So he's like, I'm not doing that because Chris Wallace said so. So stand back and stand by.
I mean, like an evil genius in some movie. They were trying to play both sides against each other and try to start some kind of racial war or internal conflict, something. They were just part of the machine trying to get a fire started somehow, some way. But anyway, Joey, I want to tell you now. What is it? What is this I hear about? You might be leaving. What?
No, you should look up what I wrote on 1819 yesterday. I titled it "Should I Leave Hometown Montgomery?" And really the piece is about how I haven't felt like at home here, even though I was born here. I still to this day have folks ask where are you from?
Well, if you'd say things like y'all, that would help.
Well, no, I did drop off some stuff at Goodwill. Black dude goes, who's helping get stuff out of my car, goes, where are you from? I go, here. I was born and raised. And Rico Suave looking MF. And I'm like, what in the world is that? That was a fun one, actually.
Well, with that hair, you could just
right.
Rico.
But then it's kind of a point of I feel like I've found home back at the church, and I don't have to decide today. Is the punchline is I should not be so anxious about so much talk about finding a lady and all these other things in life. If I do the right things each day, putting God first, it'll figure itself out.
I know it will. But, the Lord being who he is full of blessings. And I would not be surprised if you are faced with a number of choices. Who knows? Career, a marriage. I wouldn't be surprised if there's some young woman out there who needs a husband. And
there's several out there who need a husband.
A couple of kids who need a daddy, a ready-made family. Type thing. But I just want you to remember, wherever God leads you, Joey,
Mhm.
that your old Papa B has trained you well.
I'll give you
I
that.
have.
I'll give you that. You have.
Young Padawan, do not forget your training.
Well.
All right, guys. Well, listen, thanks a lot for letting me chime in. Enjoy the show.
Appreciate it, Papa B.
See you, Papa B.
272-9228. Let's go to Cousin Vinny.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Cousin Vinny, how you doing?
I'm doing absolutely peachy. How y'all doing today?
Pretty good.
All right.
Yeah, well, it's another day in paradise. The good Lord gave us all another day above ground.
Mm-hmm.
So
Amen.
it's got to be a beautiful thing. I wanted to call in reference to the Southern Poverty Law Center thing.
Okay.
And I have some personal experience with that. I did some work. Do y'all remember quite a while ago when Judge Roy had to leave the courts because of the 10 Commandments that he was putting up there?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I wound up doing quite a bit of work on one of the buildings that Judge Roy bought downtown to open up his nonprofit that he was doing. And I consider Judge Roy to be a totally straight-up cat. And some of the things that he had told me about Morris Deeds and about how thick the file was of what he had on Morris Deeds. And I guess this has been going on for quite some time, because if Judge Roy was going to be going after him, certainly, how long ago was that? Was that back in like 2005, 2006 when that happened?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
20 years ago.
I'm trying to remember exactly when it was.
And by the way, this indictment has to do, this is new team after
Mhm.
Morris Dees was
Yeah.
run out on a rail after the Me Too stuff.
Yep.
Yes. No, I'm aware of that. And I actually got to meet Morris Dees. We turned down some work because after we did that work for Judge Roy, they wanted us to do some work on their building downtown. And I actually got to meet some folks there. And we turned down the work. I'm a total hippie, bro. I just can't be a part of any of that, you know?
Nice.
But anyway, I thought that I saw the press briefing last night with Blanche and Patel Cash,
Yeah.
or Cash Patel. And I could have sworn that they brought up that they were laundering money with the Klan. Did I see that wrong? Because I could have sworn that they brought up the KKK was a part of it.
They did say that, I believe. Yeah, I'm looking at one of the breakdowns. This is F unknown. This is from the indictment. F unknown was the Imperial Wizard of the United Clans of America. An article published on November 22nd, 2013. The SPLC described the group as a millennial reboot of what was once a serious domestic threat. In its prime, the United Clans of America was responsible for, among other things, the 16th Street Baptist Church bombing in Birmingham, which resulted in the death of 4 little girls in 1963. So, yeah, one of the guys was the Imperial Wizard of the United Clans of America.
Yeah, and see, that whole thing is such an oxymoron because, yes, they thrived on racism, and they were filing suits and everything else like that. And I always really had a thought in my mind that these had to be manufactured cases if they were making that much money. And where they were getting all that money, how could all of that come through in the city of Montgomery? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it absolutely blew me away. And now that these other folks are involved, I wonder if they have always been a part of it from day one when Morris Dees originally founded it and started it back in the 70s. And I wonder if it's always been a money scam since then.
And here's another one, another F unknown, was a member of the Ku Klux Klan and married to an exalted cyclops of the Klan. F unknown and their spouse were involved in litigation whereby the Ku Klux Klan applied to take part in the Adopt a Highway program. That's how the identity was unearthed. During the course of the litigation, known payments were traced from the SPLC to F unknown, which exceeded $3,500 because of Adopt a Highway.
I remember seeing those signs out. The Adopt a Highway was, Supported by the Klan this week. I'm like, what?
But I hope they get them. I hope they get them because I'm sure that there are other organizations that are doing the same thing. That I hope they get them. I really do. To thrive on something like that was such an unfortunate life that these black brothers and sisters, Chinese, Native American, had to go through. If there are people that are profiting from that and manufacturing garbage for profit, that is so against God's and Jesus's teachings and everything else like that. And I think that Patel has to go after them. Get
Amen.
every single one of them and put them all to rest.
Here.
Put them all in prison where they belong.
Yep.
You know, because that is just off the charts. And the only thing that bothers me, and I was always curious about this, I know that Judge Roy opened up a nonprofit, and he bought a building, a historic building in downtown Montgomery for his nonprofit, and I never know whatever came from that, whatever came of Judge Roy. I have so stayed out of that loop for so long ago.
He ran for Senate, and then the whole accusations came out from the national media, and that's how Doug Jones got in there. And honestly, I haven't heard much from Judge Roy Moore since then.
He's around, but that's about it. I haven't heard anything about that building though.
And the countersuit and lawsuits over with Lee Corpman and stuff, it kind of ended with both of them going, "See, I was right."
Yep.
Like, well, we're back at square one.
Yeah, well, I mean, I thought Judge Roy was a totally straight-up cat. And when I got to meet him and I was honored to work in his building for a couple weeks, I just felt very honored that I was even able to be around the guy and that he would give me the time of day and answer my questions.
I met him a few times here in the radio studio, and I got the same sense. He was very inquisitive, very gregarious, like easy to talk to. But then he also had a side of he was ready to defend the faith and defend his beliefs to the hilt.
Yeah, but why not?
Right.
Why? I'm the same way. I mean, I'll defend my rights.
Yep.
I've had to do it in some motorcycle rallies when the N-word was used, and I stood up. And I had brothers of mine that actually backed me. That's the only reason why I'm still alive. I'm sorry, but no, that's a God's honest truth. But yeah, I just wanted to see what was going on and throw my 2 cents worth in there. And thank you all so much for having me on.
Appreciate it, Cousin Vinny.
Thanks, Vinny.
272-9228. Yeah, like I was saying, the SPLC should just sell all their possessions, all their assets, and give it to the poor here in Montgomery.
Be the best thing they could ever do.
Yeah, it'd be great.
Yep. What a way to go out.
Yeah, divest all that stuff.
Yeah.
And just set up just a straight up food pantry.
Mm-hmm.
Because, by the way, when you see churches do that here locally, when they set up hey, you can come get a free meal, you know the lines that show up, man?
Tell you, man, it's the ones out here, and it's been a couple years since I've seen it, but the ones out here on East Chase, there's a church right off East Chase Boulevard there, and they did it once a month. And, dude, I would get in 6:30 in the morning to my job over there. There would already be 100 and something people in line.
Yep.
And some of them have been there all night.
Yep. There's a lot of those issues. Anyway, it's sometimes because, we do live in a society where you can do very well for yourself. Even you don't have to be the most brilliant person in the world. You work hard. You really can.
Show up. Don't steal.
Right. And you're not going to be glamorous in the glamorous life, but you're going to be living better than your grandparents or great grandparents. That's for sure.
Yep.
The amount of stuff we have, about material plenty we have, but it's still remarkable how many folks fall through the cracks. And as basic everyday needs start to get more and more expensive, that does put a squeeze on more and more folks.
Really expensive.
And so it's, especially when you get into this high stakes political game where it's these elites fighting elites, it's very easy to forget about the everyday person. Now, there's always a story to that. Why is that person homeless out on the interstate intersection? Are they actually capable and they've just chosen to live this particular life? Or maybe do they have a drug issue or a mental health issue? I mean, what you sometimes wonder seeing that person on the street.
But
what's
I
the
know
whole story?
From personal experience, somebody's got to reach their bottom. Yeah, that might be not that person's bottom yet. He's homeless. Yeah, he's panhandling. But honestly, it's not his bottom yet.
Well, and while we're on this, I got a letter from a guy in prison. He was reacting to something Catherine Robertson said on the air about violent people in the prison. I don't remember the exact quote from Catherine. But it got this guy who was in there for violent crime, who's been in there 30-something years, to really not make his case of like, I never done anything wrong, but say that it's been and he's been written up several times, but those write-ups were when he first got in.
Mm-hmm.
And he was really just trying to make the case to me. It was in his own handwriting, had to read it carefully, that people can change.
Oh, yeah.
And you do have to wonder about the person who really has changed, has a broken and contrite heart. They're in one of our hellish prisons. And I don't know. I guess my only response to that guy, if he's out there listening, is like, God sees you.
Yeah.
And if you really have changed, he knows. And so maybe the AG doesn't see you, the average person doesn't see you, maybe the corrections officer doesn't see you in the same way. All sorts of folks just don't see you, don't even think about you. But also there's a bit of a solace in most folks ain't seen.
No, but you could do.
But God sees you.
To me, in that situation, granted, I wouldn't want to be there either, but you could do more good right there where you're at right now than you probably could out here.
Yep.
You got more of an attentive crowd right where you're at.
Yep. Anyway, let's hit a break.
All right.
First, though, this part of the program brought to you by Alabama Home Mortgage. And there at Alabama Home Mortgage, Kim Williams and Madeline Cannon are ready to help you with buying a home or refinancing a home.
Right.
And especially if you're a veteran, they can help you out with the latest in the VA mortgage program, which is the best deal in town. You're leaving money on the table if you're a veteran, not
Bar
using
none. That's the best deal in town, brother.
It really is. My goodness. Like when no down payment purchases, 100% cash out
100%
refinance.
cash out, baby.
But even if you're not a veteran, they can get you in the right position to buy or to meet your goals with a refinance deal. Could be you just want to go on that great vacation you've always dreamed of. Go, see Rome or something. Or it could be you want to reinvest in the kids or your property, or you want to make sure the retirement fund's secured or debt gets off your back. All sorts of goals for refinancing they can help you out with there. And of course, it's always great seeing Madeline, seeing her and
great.
having her on the show
so great yesterday.
Yeah, she was good. Giving me a hard time about my Latin. I deserve it. It's a weird thing, but I deserve it.
Okay.
Oh, I admit it, but I kind of like it.
That's what I figured.
But I deserve it. I appreciate that, Madeline. But they're good folks there at Alabama Home Mortgage, and they know of what they speak.
Yes.
They know what they're doing over there. So check them out today. Just call them up direct. 567-4223. That's 567-4223. Or you can always apply online at myalabamahomemortgage.com. There is a difference in mortgage companies. Like Kim and Madeline proved that to you today. NMLS number 1586368, an equal housing lender.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, but whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings 6 till 9 and afternoons 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Hi, this is Bo Goodson from the Goodson Group with your Real Estate Minute. Here in the River region, thousands of hardworking folks will be buying a home, some for the first time. How do you know you are buying the right home? It starts with research. A buyer's agent can help you in your search, providing a list of homes you may not be aware of or know about. At the same time, a meeting with a local lender to find out exactly what you qualify for and how much it will cost at closing and monthly. A list of needs and wants provided to your agent will help them locate properties that match those needs. An example would be bedrooms, baths, school zones, floor plan requests will also help. Start shopping and look at homes and compare and make a list of pluses and minuses for each home. Compare them with your agent to narrow the field. After you work out the contract, appraisals and inspections come next, and then the closing. For more details, call Bo Goodson at the Goodson Group, 221-2883. That's 221-2883.
Don't miss the River Region Healthy Living Expo happening Thursday, April 30th from 10 to 2 at the Shops at East Chase. From senior health to total wellness, it's all here, and admission is free. Learn more in the Check It Out section at WAKA.com.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting truly great candidates for your roles? It seems impossible to find them, but they have to be out there somewhere, right? Well, they're not hard to find when you know where to go, and that place is ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. And because these people are actively looking for jobs just like yours, it's easy to find the right person right away. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter, you're missing out. So see what it's like when the impossible is easy. When you go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio right now to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
There's a lot of uncertainty in the world right now. Things are changing fast and no one knows what comes next. Times like these make you realize just how important it is to be prepared. That's where My Patriot Supply comes in. They're America's #1 most trusted resource for survival food, solar power, water filtration systems, and more. Go to preparewithamerica.com to unlock a special offer that'll help you get ready for whatever comes our way. Go to preparewithamerica.com to see the special offer right now. That's preparewithamerica.com.
Are you tired of the mainstream media's biased reporting? Do you want to stay informed on the news that really matters to you? Look no further than 1819 News. At 1819 News, we bring you the latest in Alabama news, politics, sports, culture, and more. We've assembled a team of journalists with Alabama values dedicated to the truth and the truth alone. Visit us at 1819news.com today. That's 1819news.com. Subscribe to our newsletter. Honest News, Alabama Values.
The Health and Wealth Show. The Health and Wealth Show. The show so nice, we said it twice. Weekday evenings at 6 on News Talk 93.1 WACV. The Health.
Wake it up, son. Joke's over, hey?
Hi, I'm Carl Schmidt, naturopath and owner of the Herb Shop Wellness Center at 8161 Vaughan Road. You know, with over 30 years experience in natural wellness, I've seen countless health fads come and go. A few years ago, we added a patented technology that actually activates your stem cells. It reverses the aging process at the cellular level. However, you do need proper hydration and targeted nutrition. At the Herb Shop, our advanced scanning and testing technology allows us to accurately assess your nutritional needs and get a customized plan for you. Come in today and see what the Herb Shop can do for you.
This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368, an equal housing lender.
The Rich Thomas Weather Network, brought to you by Montgomery Paint and Body. From little fender benders to total body repair, MPB will fix it good as new, maybe better. For 4 decades, the Turner family has been getting you back on the road. Call 279-7325.
Rich Thomas Weather.
Our big warming trend continues today. Clouds give way to a mostly sunny day with a high temperature in the middle 80s today. Mostly clear tonight. The nights are more reasonable with overnight low temperatures in the mid to upper 50s. Expect middle 80s to continue on Thursday and Friday with a good bit of sunshine. If you have Friday evening plans, I think we're dry through the evening hours, but the risk of showers begins in the overnight hours Friday night, and there will be periods of scattered showers and thunderstorms at times over the weekend, Saturday, Saturday night, and Sunday. And our weather app will keep you on top of the action, of course. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
Feeling the pressure of high credit card rates? ASC Credit Union has you covered with a low 1.99% APR on balance transfers. Move your balances in March or April and lock in that 1.99% rate through your October statement. Visit ASC Credit Union today. Federally insured by NCUA. Terms and conditions apply.
Live local talk. The River Region's only 24-hour News Talk FM station. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. So I got a request from somebody, a text request.
Yeah.
And to find the clip of Tucker Carlson apologizing.
For?
Well, let's just play the clip.
Okay.
Not long. Here's Tucker apologizing. Sorry for misleading people about what?
And I want to say I'm sorry for misleading people. It was not intentional. That's all I'll say. I do think it's like a moment to wrestle with our own consciences. We'll be tormented by it for a long time. I will be. You and I and everyone else who supported him, you wrote speeches for him. I campaigned for him. I mean, we're implicated in this for sure.
Trump. Yeah.
It's not enough to say, well, I changed my mind, or like, oh, this is bad, I'm out. It's like, in very small ways, but in real ways, You and me and millions of people like us are the reason this is happening right now. Yes.
Sorry for misleading people about Trump.
Do you ever think Tucker will run?
No.
I think not either. I know a lot of people saw another interview today where they're talking about different people trying to push him to go, but he just has no desire whatsoever.
Unless that demon who clawed him in the middle of the night actually is running the show, then perhaps he will run.
Maybe, yeah.
I don't think it is. I don't know what's going on with Tucker in the sense of, and I'm not even talking about the whole, I get his anti-war shift completely. I think it's a crisis of faith.
Yeah.
I think it is a genuine, publicly seen crisis of faith. Like, not like he was an atheist or anything as coming to faith, but I think he played the game, the high political elites political game for a long time. And I don't know the man. I could just be speaking out of my ass. Excuse me, pardon me. But my sense is that he played that game for a long time and didn't care who he spat at, who he told off, who he stepped on in many ways, and probably regrets a lot of stuff he did. Was he the worst of the worst? No, I don't suspect. But, you work in cable news that long, you work in print journalism that long, you're around that DC political culture for that long. It seems like he is constantly reacting to sins of the past, whether his own or others. And he's trying to atone for that. So he maybe thought, I've got a ride here with Trump. Is this admitting that, no, it was kind of the same political game?
Kind of same game.
Yeah. And I mean, it could very well be like, one of the major temptations of Christ in the desert. It's power. Yeah. And it seems to me like a man who's wrestling with that. And after seeing him, we saw him in person. Like most of his speech was about faith.
Yep.
Not about politics. And and his speech about faith was not one of deep certainty. It was in many ways self-deprecating, self-effacing. He was constantly very apologetic in most things. So maybe that's just the kick he's on. So where, I regret supporting him. I don't know. I'm sure people at that level do have to think through their responsibility in these matters.
But I mean, you can imagine being at that level. We certainly got behind the wrong candidate more than one time.
Oh, sure. Yeah, but I think the average bear, it's like watching WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Like,
oh yeah,
you're not the one in gorilla position actually calling all the shots. You're not the one in the ring actually putting on the show. You're part of the crowd, and maybe you regret cheering certain things on, and it's fine. You can feel however you want about it, but when you have a certain level of influence, though, like a big level of influence, I'm sure there are questions that come to mind. Certainly. But, even look at but Tucker seems in particular torn and troubled by this.
Seems genuinely like he led people down the wrong path.
Whereas somebody like Joe Rogan, I'm sure, disagrees with Trump on stuff, but like Joe was in the Oval Office this week.
I don't think it's you're either my friend or my enemy with Joe.
Right. Right. Or like the guys on Flagrant who had him on, or Theo Vaughn who had him on, all these.
Yeah, Theo Vaughn the other day had a couple one-liners for Trump. So yeah, there's a few of them that have had change of heart.
Yeah, well, the war thing is
that's
where
what he was talking about.
They draw the line.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, well, and then of course the libertarians within a month are like, I'm like, hey, but I would say to the Flagrant guys, what did y'all talk about him? And Andrew Schultz in particular talked to him about IVF protections. Has he done that? Yeah. What did he promise to the libertarians? The Bitcoin stuff. And in particular, he would free Ross Ulbricht from prison.
And he did that.
And he did within like the first week or two. But no, we supported you for the reasons we had in our own mind.
Yes.
And, this is where I would say Tucker, other people made choices. True. You have influence, but other people made their choices on who to support and why. And often those reasons people come up with in their own heads for this or that politician and why they're supporting them, it's very, very loosely related to reality, if at all.
Well, yeah, but I can be led down a path, but to specifically vote for somebody, especially I'm going behind the curtain, I might not. I might play the game all along, but just have no intent for voting for that person.
In a way, that's one of the, I think, downsides of democracy.
Yeah.
It disperses responsibility. Like to where, because we all, that's one way to get away with, say, a perfect crime. everybody's fingerprints are on the gun in some way.
Yeah.
You know, maybe one print is more prominent on the trigger finger, but if everybody's prints are on the gun, like, how are you going to damn me if...
Yeah.
Whereas, you know, if you got a system like where it's a king, like, you know, the Bible verse Trump read from 2 Chronicles, like, Solomon screwed up. He did beautifully to begin with, but then he started, you know, foreign wives and foreign gods and all this other stuff. And it's his fault. Like, in many ways. Now, of course, the people of Israel screwed up big time, too.
Well.
But so it kind of goes hand in hand. In many ways, though, it's interesting how presidents get away with all manner of sins and claim way too much that they aren't responsible for as well.
Yeah, claim way too much credit, which kills me.
Anyway, yeah, sometimes I just wish, like, stop patronizing us, and just do a good job. Like, I don't care if you were voted for or not. Are you going to be competent and achieve results? That's where my mind goes. And are you going to do it in a moral way? Yeah. No, seriously, if I had the chance to talk to Tucker Carlson, I thought this. I, in fact, did not meet him at that event we went to. Because I was like, yeah, I don't want to just do a handshake and a photo line thing. If I get a chance to talk to him, I'll get a chance to talk to him. Like,
we're going fishing.
Not something I'm going to try to beat down the door to, you know,
Somebody
genuflect to somebody's feet or anything. I like him a lot.
Take him fishing and you'll never shut up.
I think he'd be a fascinating person to talk to him about. And one thing I would definitely want to talk to him about is the effect of fame, the effect of notoriety, especially in a world that cares a lot. You know, it's one thing to be a huge star and you make music, or, you know, you're a movie star, but when you're notable or you have notoriety, notorious because of what you say about political power or you wield political power, I just want to talk to him about, I guess my basic question would be, you've made millions of dollars, millions of people know your name. Was it worth it? Is that what matters at the end of the day? Or is it that wife you've been married to your whole life and your kids? And I think I know his answer.
Yeah.
But like, how much does it even, you have your priorities straight, but how much of your whole life did you have your priorities straight? And how much does the fame and the notoriety pull away from a lot of time maybe that you could have had with the stuff that really mattered?
He's probably the first one to admit it, that it has pulled him away a lot.
Yeah.
His lifestyle before marriage.
And I wouldn't ask that to shame him. I would ask that just being interested. Like, you've lived a heck of a life, a fascinating life. A lot of people would be like, I wish I could have done that life. Now, anytime you say that about anybody else, you don't know.
No, you don't. And the person
you don't know the demons they're dealing with.
It ain't easy, you know. Yeah.
Yeah, you do not know the demons you're dealing with. Yeah. Like, especially folks are like, oh, I wish I could be this movie star or this rock star or this president or what. It's like, you have no idea the cost of these things.
I can be careful what you wish. Most of those people wish they could be you, that anonymous person that has no responsibilities in the world. You know.
Yeah, I think some of the happiest folks honestly, I think some of the happiest folks are like the Amish.
Oh, no doubt.
Like they kind of have it figured out.
Rumspringer, baby.
Yeah.
Can we go be Amish for the weekend and go do Rumspringer? That'd be fun.
And I'm starting to believe more and more that through the centuries of Western civilization, it was old ladies, nuns, cloistered from the world, praying that kept things at bay.
Yeah, I can't argue with that.
It was old ladies praying. Like, they never went outside.
Yeah, I honestly cannot argue with that at all.
I think those are some of the true unspoken heroes, more so than just all the great kings and movers and shakers in industry and yada, yada.
You know as well as I do, women carry most of the power.
Anyway, we got another break.
All right.
We'll be right back after this.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
2026 marks 60 years that hope has had a home in Alabama. At the Alabama Sheriff's Youth Ranches, children who've lost everything through no fault of their own have found something priceless. A safe place to live, a loving Christian family, and the chance to simply be kids again. Here, boys and girls grow up surrounded by care, guidance, and faith, learning right from wrong, learning responsibility, learning they are valued and that their lives have purpose. As the Alabama sheriffs have believed for 6 decades, it's easier to build boys and girls than to repair men and women. These former ranchers are now teachers, parents, business owners, and leaders, living proof that love, structure, and faith can change a life forever. As the Alabama Sheriff's Youth Ranches celebrate 60 years of serving Alabama's children, you could help ensure the next child has the same chance. Learn how you could make a difference at alabamasheriffsyouthranches.org. 60 years of building lives, and we're just getting started.
At Blue Water Broadcasting, we believe great advertising starts with relationships. That's why so many local business owners trust us, not just for radio, but for digital too. If you're already running digital advertising and you're not seeing results, it may be time to explore your options. Our team takes the time to understand your business, then builds custom campaigns using a multi-channel conversion-focused approach. So whether it's digital display, social media, or you need help increasing your online presence, Blue Water Broadcasting can help. Before your next campaign, let's have a conversation. Visit bluewaterbroadcasting.com.
E-Bike Oasis, E-Bike Oasis, E-Bike Oasis, ride for free. E-Bike Oasis, E-Bike Oasis, E-Bike Oasis, ride for free.
At eBike Oasis, we're more than just Montgomery's best electric bicycle store. eBike Oasis offers free 1-hour electric bicycle rentals and a full-service electric bike repair shop. Stop by eBike Oasis in Montgomery today for free rentals, repairs, and electric bicycle brands in town.
This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368, an equal housing lender.
On FM, on your smartphone, and online, the River Region's most trusted voice. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
There are those that think I'm a very stable genius.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. I'm your host, Joey Clark, and we got some time here. Before I go to this gentleman, though, on the phone, this part of the program brought to you by Cohen's Electronics and Appliances, and they're at Cohen's. You know, Michael is off today, but he's busy. But at Cohen's, they can help you across the board. Great products, whether on the electronic side, like a brand new kick butt TV. Why not get an 85-incher? It's worth it. It's pretty awesome. Justified by like building credit or something like that. It's also just a great way to watch a game or a movie, having your own home theater, or maybe you're looking to get a solution with your sound system, or it could be you're looking more on the appliance side of the store. Need a new fridge, need a new washer dryer unit, new things for the kitchen. Maybe you're building out a kitchen. They can help you there at Cohen's, and the products are great. They're never going to be beat on price, but where Cohen's really goes above and beyond is service. Nobody matches them. Nobody beats them at service, including service after the sale. In fact, maybe even years after the sale. So y'all check out Cohen's Electronics and Appliances today. You can always peruse the website at thinkcohens.com or call them at 277-8890. But I really encourage you to stop by 2515 Eastern Boulevard here in Montgomery. They're open 9 to 6. Monday through Friday, 9 to 4 on Saturdays. And find Michael, one of the great team members there, and say, hey, I heard that Joey Clark fella talking about y'all. Let's go to Duke. Hey, Duke, how you doing?
What's up, Duke?
What's going on, fellas?
Oh, another day.
Now, Mr. Joe, I sent you a text. Now,
I fulfilled your text request, and you didn't even hear it.
You didn't even listen to the show, Duke?
I caught that. I caught the last of it. Did you play it for me, though?
I did play it for you.
Just for you. It was Duke's segment.
Long as the audience heard it, that's what was important, that they heard it.
Okay.
So this was for them. Okay? That's the reason I wanted you to play it for them. Okay?
You know what they're going to say, though.
What, Joe?
I don't like Tucker anymore.
Hey, like they fell out of love with Mike Pence, didn't they?
Yeah. Well, that ain't hard to do.
That wasn't hard, yeah.
Little boy about to run on Mike Pence up a piece of rope. Everybody got mad. Damn, they want this man home for real, I guess.
Loyalty.
But,
I wonder if the SPLC funded that.
When you got what's that woman out of Minnesota, the Somalian lady, what's her name?
Omar.
When she pulling for Margaret Taylor Greene, things got bad for the Republicans now. She said,
You can't.
You mean?
She down this, I just love her right now. I just love her.
You mean Marjorie Taylor Brown? Green turns to brown when it goes bad.
Yeah. She's like, we should pull for her. She's so awesome.
Just like he's been doing this for a decade. You know that Trump's gonna like make up with.
Oh yeah, you know there's something bigger on the other side of that. Yeah, no doubt.
Like it's so crazy.
I hadn't heard Trump respond to that yet. He probably said he's a total loser like never before. He did say he didn't finish college or something like that, didn't he? Didn't he say he didn't finish college or something a couple weeks ago?
I don't know. It's hard to keep up, honestly.
Yeah.
But what gets me though about this whole thing now? Now, Eddie, me and you done dipped in the street a little bit more than Joey have. Boys, we know people a little bit more for the street kind of bull crap people tell you, right?
All day long.
So I can see you, I can smell it a mile away. Yeah, I can smell the boo-boo a mile away, you know. But everybody knew who Trump was.
They still do.
Out there now, once they got the feeling hurt, now they act like, you know, this is a brand new man from years back.
They still do, dude. I think they still know who he is. They know, hey, playing with Trump is very risky. I could either, be the greatest thing since gravy, or I could get thrown right out of the party on in my butt. It's a risk.
And, I told you Trump got the hood and he got some.
Oh yeah, he's straight up OG.
He ain't there. Now.
Yeah, he's straight up OG. Ain't no doubt.
Yes, sir. He's straight G, boy. Shoot, man. Talking about. So they knew he was like that to start with. Now they gonna jump on her back and say, "Let's take me for a ride too."
Well, a lot of these folks ain't used to dealing with somebody like Trump, though.
He took her for a big ride.
A lot of these folks ain't used to dealing with somebody like Trump. They're used to dealing with somebody that's not going to call them out on their BS, and Trump has a tendency to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Whether he likes you or not, I mean, honestly.
Mm-hmm. But I love it, though. I love to see the family.
I know you having a good time.
Waking up. I'm all saying these people waking up and getting out of the cult. You see no cult movies on TV.
Yeah, but you know as well as I do, dude. If Trump picked up the phone right now and called any of them, they'd come running back to that cult, buddy. Any of them.
I know. Hey, I with him now. He called me. Let's not do nothing illegal, Mr. Trump. So,
yeah, I mean, this is the guy who went after the Pope the other day.
Yeah,
I mean, come on.
Exactly.
And by the way, the Pope's response is, I think a great response, like, I'm not a politician and I have no interest in debating him. That's actually a great way to, you know who else did that? Katie. Remember, he called her the untalented assistant to Dick Shelby. Yep. And she did put out a video going, well, I'm going to win him over.
And who won? He did.
But I tell you what, fellas, what I'll do. If Tommy Tuberville were to not mention Trump name, tie himself to Trump between here and the election, I think about
oh, come on. That's a gimme. He's going to tie himself to Trump.
Why would he trade thousands of votes for the one?
For Duke. I got Duke, though. I got one vote.
What you gonna do? We know they ask what they gonna do for the state of Alabama. Whatever Donald Trump want me to do.
He's gonna come. He's gonna let Tuberville come to Montgomery, bring in the guard, kind of straighten things out for a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Or you gonna be in everybody's household?
Not mine. I live in Titus. But for you folks in Montgomery, there might be some issues.
I mean,
Well, he won't be in my house, but he's more than welcome to. I'll give him a ride around the lake on the boat, on jet ski if he wants.
Anyway,
man, but the house, but the mega house is in pain and suffering nowadays. So should we kneel and pray for him, or what we need to do, Eddie?
I don't know. You kind of got me on that one, dude.
I'm talking about the Mago family now. We need to pray for them. I mean,
we're always praying for folks, too. We even pray for our enemies. We certainly pray for our friends.
I'm talking about we need to give a special prayer. I'm talking about a special kind of prayer. Okay?
Okay. What you thinking?
We need to call on Jesus. Do we need to call on Jesus, or call on, like the country folks say, the good Lord, Heavenly Father? Who we need to call on?
Sure. I don't think you'll have anybody argue with you on that one, buddy. I mean, even Joey has taught me. You pray for your friends and your enemies.
But until that time come, I want to praise and love on me some Tucker Carlson and Megan Kelly and Barbara Taylor Greene and what's the other girl, the sister girl, what's her name?
Oh, Candace?
Candace.
She needs prayer.
Yeah.
She does need prayer, man. Yeah. I do worry
Yeah,
about
back in
her.
my young days, I prayed for her myself.
I bet you would.
Yeah, back in the young days.
Yes, sir.
You're just wrong. You're just wrong. You're going to need to be baptized again if you keep going this way.
Exactly.
Oh, man. Boy, this is a good day. That's a good day right here, y'all.
Yes, it is. Well, I got to run, man. Great hearing from you.
All right, man. I just want to love on you Omega folks for today, and then pray. I'll say a prayer for you.
Say a prayer for me. I appreciate
I got
that.
hope.
See you, Duke.
All right.
See you, Duke.
Oh, he said MAGA family.
Yeah. Glad we caught it second time. Yeah.
We heard the same thing.
Yeah.
Anyway. Final hour with Andrew Szymanski coming up.
From the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusada, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.
With SRN News, I'm Bob Agnew in Washington. Some fresh doubts arising now about the status of peace talks between the U.S. and Iran. Iran's paramilitary Revolutionary Guard fired on ships in the Strait of Hormuz a day after President Trump extended a ceasefire. Although the American blockade of all Iranian ports also remains in place, the president is giving Iran time to develop what he calls a unified proposal. There are rumors of disagreements among the Islamic regime in Tehran, the various leaders there, as to the best approach forward. The U.S. stock market rallying toward more records despite all the volatility in the Middle East because of better corporate earnings reports in this country. GE, Vernova, and other big companies joining the list of those reporting fatter profits at the start of the year than the experts had been forecasting. In fact, right now, the Dow is up 187 points and NASDAQ up by 312. This is SRN News.
Health insurance rates are surging in America, leaving millions without affordable options. If you're sick of having paychecks eaten up by healthcare costs or dealing with mega corporations, then listen to this. Christians don't need to waste money on a broken system. That's why I want to tell you about Christian Healthcare Ministries. It's an alternative to traditional health insurance at half the cost. With CHM, fellow believers contribute monthly to help pay each other's medical bills. There's no enrollment period, so you can join anytime. And you aren't restricted to provider networks, so you choose the doctors and hospitals you want. It's that simple. CHM is not insurance. It's a ministry that puts faith into action. Feel the difference of financial support and biblical care from fellow believers. Join CHM today by visiting chministries.org/wellness. That's chministries.org/wellness.
Rich Thomas Weather is brought to you by Alabama Wholesale Lumber. It's more than just great prices on lumber. From Trex decking to energy-efficient windows and Tamco shingles, Alabama Wholesale Lumber has it all.
Rich Thomas Weather. Our big warming trend continues today. Clouds give way to a mostly sunny day with a high temperature in the middle 80s today. Mostly clear tonight. The nights are more reasonable with overnight low temperatures in the mid to upper 50s. Expect middle 80s to continue on Thursday and Friday with a good bit of sunshine. If you have Friday evening plans, I think we're dry through the evening hours, but the risk of showers begins in the overnight hours Friday night. And there will be periods of scattered showers and thunderstorms at times over the weekend, Saturday night, and Sunday. And our weather app will keep you on top of the action, of course. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
When the heat hits to the river region, don't wait. If your AC quits, Hands Heating and Air offers same-day service, or your diagnostic charge is free with their Comfort a Day or You Don't Pay guarantee, plus 24/7 service with no overtime charges.
1819 News.
The U.S. Department of Justice issued 11 indictments on Tuesday against the Southern Poverty Law Center, which is headquartered in Montgomery. The DOJ Acting Attorney General Todd Blanche says the SPLC paid out millions of dollars to various white supremacist groups, such as the KKK and Aryan clubs.
Between 2014 and 2023, SPLC paid at least $3 million to 8 individuals at least. These individuals were affiliated with the Ku Klux Klan, United Klans of America, National Socialist Movement. After SPLC paid members of these extremist groups, it created work product that reported on these activities that the members participated in or contributed to. And to that end, it was doing the exact opposite of what it's told its donors it was doing. As the indictment describes, the SPLC was not dismantling these groups. It was instead manufacturing the extremism it purports to oppose by paying sources to stoke racial hatred.
These indictments are coming from the Middle District of Alabama and federal judge Emily Marks. I'll be back with more Alabama stories after this.
Covenant Rescue Group seeks to directly support organizations and agencies that are fighting the global battle against human trafficking. They do this through funding, procuring, and advocating. You can go to covenantrescue.org for further details. They need your donations, guys. Hop on and donate.
A high school student in Huntsville was arrested by Huntsville police after a firearm was found in the student's backpack at the start of the school day. The weapons detection system alerted the school resource officer to the presence of that weapon. The student never entered the school building. The firearm was found before that. The 16-year-old student will not be allowed to return to class at Grissom High School. I'm Andrea Tice.
For more news affecting Alabamians, go to 1819news.com. And while you're there, subscribe to the daily newsletter.
This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number one in the number two business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
Congressman Barry Moore has always delivered for Alabama. As a member of the House Freedom Caucus, Barry Moore earned a score of 100 from Heritage Action for protecting our values. He's helped thousands of Alabama families, fought for our veterans as a veteran himself, and secured millions for infrastructure, first responders, and public safety. Barry Moore helped pass Trump's One Big Beautiful Bill, delivering tax cuts for hardworking Alabama families, and stood strong to secure our borders. Now, Barry is taking that fight to the United States Senate. Barry Moore will defend our freedoms, defend the Second Amendment, protect our children, stand up for parents, and keep boys out of girls' sports while continuing to cut taxes and lower prices. Endorsed by President Trump, Barry Moore is a proven conservative Alabama can trust.
I'm Congressman Barry Moore. I rolled up my sleeves in Congress, and I'll keep fighting for Alabama in the U.S. Senate. I'm Barry Moore, a conservative fighter, and I approve this message.
Approved and paid for by Barry Moore for U.S. Senate.
With spring officially here, Pizza Perfect has sprung a great deal for April. Get a free order of breadsticks or cinnamon sticks with the purchase of any large or medium pizza. That'll make the whole family smile. Pizza Perfect's amazing buffet includes pizza as well as spaghetti, breadsticks, salad, dessert, and drink for only $13. The buffet is available Monday through Saturday for lunch and for dinner on Tuesday, Friday, and Saturday. Pizza Perfect is also available for pickup and delivery. Pizza Perfect on Coliseum Boulevard in Eastbrook.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers.
It's time for Montgomery's conversational radio show. It's News and Views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. And as promised, folks, joining us in the studio now, we have City Councilman Andrew Szymanski. How you doing today?
Doing well. It's warming up outside, so it's almost, it's like spring, summer at the moment, so
Yeah,
it's good. And I know the last time I was here, I could barely breathe through my nose. So at least some of the pollen. I know we need some rain, but
we do need
we're,
some
we're
rain.
moving along. So that's
I mean,
good.
that is kind of top of mind for me, because I got a call earlier in the week of a massive house fire in Forest Hills, and as I was driving on the interstate, there was a little grass fire right there off the side of the interstate. How's the fire department doing?
It's so funny is that I was just at Montgomery Whitewater. They had just received a large grant from Alabama's RC&D, their Mid-South Council, and they were doing swiftwater training out there. And I think tomorrow I may have the opportunity to go be a guinea pig for them.
Okay.
So I'm totally down for that. But they're doing well. We always talk about public safety, and oftentimes we're talking about the police department, but the fire department is doing really well. It was really good to see the guys out there training. One thing that's really interesting about our fire department is that when it comes to search and rescue, our fire department actually gets deployed in places all over the state when there are water rescues, because we have the dive team and we have the experience and the training. But what they're doing out at Whitewater now will be a potential revenue stream for the fire department, because they'll actually be able to invite in fire departments from across and public safety outfits from across the country and really even the world to come to Montgomery and do some swiftwater training. So they had the water moving out there. It was pretty big, and they had these young firefighters getting in. They were learning how to swim against the currents, and it was pretty intense. So,
Boy, if you're going to be a guinea pig, what do they do? Like throw you in with weights on you or something?
Well, I don't know about weights. I don't know if I need any extra weights on me, but I think I think I'm just going to go in, and then I have to get rescued somehow. So, I mean, anytime it comes to being in water, I'm on board. So I'll go do that tomorrow. Then actually my day job on Friday, I get to go down and paddle the P River down in Elba, Alabama. So
I've never been down there.
It's a cool area. I've actually never paddled the river down there, but there's a lot of those small Alabama towns. Elba's a cute little downtown, and they've got an outfitter down there, and you can go similar to Coosa River Adventures up in Wetumpka. And so I'm going down with some folks, and we'll be checking out the outfitters doing the run, and just anytime I can be on the water, that's where I want to be.
And folks, we could get into some hard-hitting city question stuff in a second. You can always call in at 334-272-9228. Y'all know the number. But of all these times talking to you, what is it about water? You love water.
I love water.
What is this?
So I grew up in Northeast Massachusetts and grew up going to Maine, and I think I just remember a childhood that was spent a lot of time out on the water. We had a pond in town that we would go to in the summertime. My mom was a teacher, so she had the summers off. So we'd go as a family and would kind of post up, wait for dad to get off work. And I just spent most of my summer swimming. And then, whether it was summer camps as I was growing up and getting into college. And, when I first came to Montgomery and we started the Montgomery Dragon Boat Festival, it was because I grew up going into downtown Boston and seeing all of the water competitions there, the sailing, the rowing clubs, all those kind of paddling activities on the Charles River. And, Montgomery's stretch of the Alabama River is a fabulous stretch of water. I've been to racing complexes in Europe, Asia, all across this country. Was very lucky in kind of some of my past work with the United States Dragon Boat Federation to do that. And we have world-class water. We could be doing and producing world-class paddling events. And I hope that with the flat water programming that is coming to Whitewater, we can do some of that. But honestly, I just think that it's a really great way to disconnect, to enjoy the uniqueness of our state. I tell people whenever I'm speaking for my day job with the Alabama Scenic River Trail that Alabama has the most miles of navigable freshwater of any state in the country. We also have the most biodiverse water system of any state in the country. America's Amazon is in the southern part of our state. And I just think you can really there's not a really better way to connect. Maybe if I was somewhere that had bigger mountains, I'd say hiking was my thing.
Sure,
But I just seem to always find myself surrounded by water.
Yeah, I'm glad you're not into free climbing.
No,
that's just my
but I did
pressure
watch
goes
that
up.
documentary.
It's pretty good.
Crazy, yeah.
Pretty good. And again, folks, talking to Andrew Szymanski, City Councilman here for the great city of Montgomery. So some of the stuff that's been in the news over the last few weeks, are we going to ever get the 240 grand or so back from the traffic serve company. Is that contract going to be terminated? What's going on there?
We announced last night that a public safety committee meeting is going to be held to deal with and kind of figure out what that plan is going forward. So one of the things that when we ever enter in these contracts, professional service and stuff, a lot of time, like in order to initiate a program, there's upfront costs that you're basically biting off as part of that. How this moves forward, some of the other plans that the chief laid out last night with some more like kind of speeding traffic cameras and stuff like that. We'll see. I'm curious, just so people know, whenever we have those committee meetings, they are open to the public. So, sometimes people ask us like, what's kind of the status on that? People can come and see those in person, and I'll put a plug in, but if anybody's ever interested in knowing when we have committee meetings, upcoming city council meetings, the agendas, also meetings like Planning Commission, ARB, land use, any of those, you can call or email the clerk's office and have your email added to the city's listserv, which will send out meeting announcements, agendas, and all that kind of stuff coming up. So I don't think that they set the date for the upcoming. In the next 2 weeks, there'll be a public safety committee meeting, and that's where that'll be discussed.
It just seems unfortunate that particular contract, it sounds like it wasn't even bid out. It was just a single source, and that money's, I get what you mean by upfront cost, but okay, that money goes out the door and these folks hadn't even mobilized and gotten ready to go, which makes me go like, well, are we at least going to bid this time?
Yeah. And I think that there are times where we've talked about the contract, limitations resolution that I got passed that gives the council the opportunity to see all of these contracts ahead of them moving forward. A lot of times, or maybe not all, but some of the times, when we have the police chief and we have department heads coming to us and say that they've, we make assumptions about the process that was gone. Now, obviously, anytime we have contracts, you have to bid them out, or it has to be determined that there's not really a comparable service that could be could be found. It's kind of the way it was described to me. How we ended up in this place where they weren't ready to mobilize even within a year is obviously frustrating, because at the core of it, we were trying to find a way to alleviate some of the burden that is presented by these kind of traffic stop. And I think, another example of, we bought on good faith that this was going to, help with that, that issue. And then we took the recommendation to move forward with it. It didn't materialize itself. I think that happens in other areas, but obviously this is a more highly visible one, especially when it comes to public safety.
Absolutely. And another one we were talking about last time you were here last month was these grants, these that initially go to ARPA. And are we actually getting set up to put this money out the door? It's a month later and we're running out of time.
Yeah. So the county commission yesterday, I was told, passed their side of it. So if you remember when we did the ARPA funding, kind of everything we did 50%, city and the county. And so that is all mobilized. We have the group that's the consultants that are going to help administer that program directly. It's not running through other areas of the city. So it'll come from community and economic development, and it'll run with this consultant who's done this in other places. And very, very soon, if not by the end of this week, we should have all of that up and running now that we have the county's commitment as a part of that. And we'll hopefully get those monies rapidly deployed and out into the hands of business owners, because, what we have right now is an opportunity to just infuse some capital into businesses that can help fill up our downtown storefronts, which are woefully unoccupied, hopefully even other places of the city. I know District 7 has a lot of kind of small pocket commercial corridors that we would love to see some of this money get deployed in. We just spent $10 million redoing West Fairview Avenue, and I'd love to see, some of this be able to go there. So hopefully we can turn a frustration and stagnation into something positive going forward.
No, another issue I keep noticing just in my day-to-day is not huge amounts compared to, say, big cities, but a homeless population that's always there on the interstate intersections and the exits getting off. And I know a few years back, a nonprofit was set up where it's like, donate to that, don't give to them directly. But how are we doing on the homeless population? And I believe, has even the Salvation Army found a new spot? Or?
Yeah. So without, getting too far into the process, I do know that Salvation Army has identified a location that they are actively in the process of, and I'll just leave it at that. So what I'm encouraged about is what they're looking at is this problem of families. We've talked about this before. we know about the people that are on the sides of the interstate or on our interstate off ramps. That represents a very small fraction of the actual problem. One of the main concerns that I have, just from a compassion and a humanity's sake, is that, I've been told that we have upwards of 200 children that are going to public school that are living in cars or living in extended stay hotels. And if you want to talk about why addressing and helping stabilize that problem is important, it means that in 10, 15 years, those kids are not going to trend in a way that would make them public safety liabilities. And so having stability for the home and making sure we have those services available is key. We don't. And we should be very honest about that. We've talked about that before, is that we do not have the infrastructure in totality to really provide that kind of service to not only help families and children, but also help people that are in transitionary states. We have great nonprofit groups that try and do little pockets of this. We spent a lot of money through the ARPA program trying to do the hub, which is supposed to be this consolidated kind of emergency services for people recently unhoused, and that has had some layers of success, but overall it's pretty frustrating. And actually over the past few months, going back to December, I've been trying to get just an idea of exactly what level of investment we've had. I've been asking for and have yet to receive kind of a breakdown of the kind of all of the finances that have gone into that we committed through ARPA, because we need to evaluate ourselves. If we're going to throw money at something, even if it doesn't work, like you said with the traffic surf thing, you can't just run away from that, right? You have to confront that, and then you have to learn from it the next time. I think the city and our partners, and I know that the River Region United Way, the representatives from the Coalition of the Homeless, like, people want to be helpful in this problem. We just haven't gotten that fix yet. And I think we're at a point now where we really can't be saying, not in my backyard. Like, we also, as just citizens, have to realize that in order to alleviate some of these problems, we have to have a functioning facility that provides the three core things that people need. They need meals, sanitation and showers, and a safe bed to sleep in. I've got businesses in the district in like the Forest Park area right off of Mulberry that continue to have break-ins and have issues of people that are impeding their businesses and their ability to do business, and then are going back and squatting in abandoned houses. Like, just alleviating that and giving people a place to go is something that not only helps out from a public safety standpoint, but also can even benefit our business community.
Now, again, folks, 334-272-9228 if you have a comment or a question for Councilor Andrew Szymanski. That was somewhat of a lively legislative session, and ended with the particular bill, SB 298, that Will Barfoot was pushing, coming up just short. The Speaker of the House somehow ran out of time, which, thank you, Ledbetter. But I still think, and I've said it on the show, in particular, if I'm not talking to the mayor, I'm talking to you, but if people are tired of the negativity and don't want a bill like that being brought, and an approach like that being brought, the best way to shut people up is to hire more officers and get on the job and do it quickly. And I'm just, I'm wondering where we're at that point as a city. Like, we've talked about this to death with the incentive packages, with so many things of trying to get more recruits. And you see that in other cities, it's easy to get the numbers of like how many we actually have. And even I believe for you, it's difficult to get the exact number of how many officers we actually have.
Yeah. I mean, and that was kind of the basis of, I think, what, when Senator Barfoot was talking about, the mixed motivation between having the recruitment and retention part being addressed, but then also just to say we need to have an honest conversation about where we are. And look, I have said on your show and other places before that, we see the commitment. The city has made our commitment from a financial standpoint, from a resources standpoint. The MPD is finding more and more ways that they can try and bring people to the table. I would love to see, for example, us to take this as an opportunity to, to learn and to figure out, look, this bill was presented, and I had the opportunity to talk to Senator Barfoot, and I appreciated his feedback, was to try and address this issue because perception, right? Like, I am happy to say that, yes, it seems that reported instances of violent crime and these things are down, but the perception is still where we're at, right? And numbers are a really easy metric to say how people feel. And it's not just the violent crime. I think one of the things that people are feeling right now more than ever, and when I go to my community meetings, this is what they're telling me. I was just in, one community where they were saying, it's not necessarily that I feel like I'm in danger of being a victim of gun violence. Of course, we all want to say that we'd be concerned about, being in that position, but no, it's really my commute to work every day just feels less safe. I see more people running red lights. I see more people not observing stop signs. I see more people that are passing me on streets that I shouldn't be getting passed on. And so the question is that feeling of safety is more than just the kind of high news instances of crime, which we're being told are down, but then also that doesn't help the perception if we're hearing about businesses getting broken into, if we feel like the response times for, even small things, having my door kicked in, having somebody go through my car, like getting follow-ups. And so I think overall, it's good for us to keep pushing the conversation and the narrative. It also is important for us to, again, say that numbers are an easy way for the public to digest how they feel when it comes to public safety in their community.
Yeah, and I don't know. My sense of the numbers, though, is like the baseline's still higher on just homicides, for instance. But that's not, I mean, you made the great point just now of like it could be more than somebody getting murdered.
Yeah.
But the baseline seems to be up. And the number of officers we have, that baseline seems still down, and the number of homicides we have, it's not the peak, but it's still a higher baseline.
Well, and I think, we've got a situation where, I think we are not at our peak when it comes to those homicides and those violent crimes. And to say that we are going after criminals, I mean, I'm encouraged. I heard from the chief the other night, and I appreciated and was encouraged by the amount of arrests that they're doing, felony arrests. Obviously, right now we see really big participation from not just the county and the state, but now we've got federal agencies that are coming here and helping us. Still continue to be frustrated, though. We put a lot on the visible part of this, which is police department, but man, it is still frustrating as heck to see how many people are committing violent crimes in our community and then getting the opportunity to do that again.
Oh, so they get arrested, they're put in, and then they get right back out on the street.
Yeah, I mean, even that was pointed out with the enhancement to the Aniah's law.
Yeah.
It's still up to the judge's discretion, right?
Yep.
It's not a mandatory minimum type of situation. It still requires judicial discretion and how that branch of government, they play a role in this, and we need to be talking about it. And, there are areas where I can always be frustrated, but I do share, some of the concerns that come from my colleagues, from the mayor, that say that, we have to make sure that it's not just about the arrests and the people on the street, that also we're supporting each other in the judiciary side when it comes to state legislation, just to make sure that we can be as effective as we can beyond just putting dollars and getting people in uniform.
Let's try to take a call here. You're on there. Who's this?
It's Simpler Days.
Hey, Simpler Days.
Hey,
How you
Simpler
doing?
I think we missed you the last time.
Good. Yeah, I gave you a break there. I didn't want to overload your circuits, but anyway, are you familiar with the broken window theory?
The broken window theory. Tell me about it.
It says that it's been a long-standing thought process by law enforcement agencies across the country that if a patrol officer on the street sees a broken window and he gets out of his car and goes investigates it, that it might lead to a criminal mischief charge, a theft of property charge, or even a burglary charge. But if you don't have the officer on the street patrolling, then he'll never see the broken window that'll start the process.
Well, that is a valid theory. It sounds, it goes back to what Joey was just saying about, and what we were just saying about, why people believe numbers is a good metric for analyzing our ability to fight crime in the city.
Well, and this goes back like Giuliani kind of made it famous. Said another way to put it is if you do enforce the little things, the small things, it really actually helps take care of the big things downstream.
Well, it leads you, if you catch a small fish, then it'll lead you to a bigger fish in a lot of cases. But anyway, at the city council, the mayor was talking about, the need for the occupational tax and the reason for that is they need more money for more officers. Well, what's happened to the money that was already allocated for the 100, 200 officers or so that we're short? Where is that money gone?
Well, I'll just, so when he was talking about the occupational tax, and whenever we're talking about needs for revenue, it really wasn't about the officers. It was about making sure that Montgomery had the financial resources that we need to have when we have to address crises like what happened with Jackson Hospital, especially when you reach out to the other municipal and county partners who are sending people to a hospital system like this or an airport or something like that. Montgomery keeps getting called on to shoulder that financial burden. And so I think when we were getting that breakdown, it was more in reference to making sure we had what we needed to have to be able to be kind of the big brother in the room that says, okay, we will step up and here are the resources that we have for that. The money that we budget, gets reinvested, is available. Now, obviously, when we go through the budgeting process, we're looking at exactly how many personnel in every department we're going to have. And then that money is there and available as we hire more people. And so that money has always stayed as part of our operating budget. The occupational tax discussion was really more related to other things we need to be able to have, monies we need to be able to have, and we need to mobilize to help with a crisis, natural disasters, work on, send money to the hospital, $22.5 million. Work on the airport, stuff like that.
Well, sometimes when you need more money, you need to pull your belt in and try to conserve a little bit. And I mean, we've got a police chief that we're paying about $240,000 to. So why do we need to pay a public safety advisor from Mobile?
Well, I don't know if we're still paying a public safety advisor in that position, but look, either way, we have always made sure that we have committed all of the financial resources we need to police and public safety, fire, make sure that they can, recruit, retain, train, and keep people in our department and make sure that they are safe when they are out on our streets. And so all of those things, especially, we as a city council here during the budgeting process, what the needs are, we try and make sure that we're responding to those. I give a lot of credit to my colleagues of the past that when, Chief was coming to us and asking us to be competitive in our pay, that we were able to make that happen. That when we need to be able to, like just last night at the council meeting, we authorized money that can go to matching a federal grant to help bring in newer and better equipment for the police department. We've always been there to do that.
Well, before you, somebody that had to, oversee the taxpayers' money, before y'all send money to Louisiana, why don't y'all vet the company, make sure they've got a history, make sure that they can do what they can say they're going to do before you send them $1. Y'all have a good day.
Thanks, Epler.
Thank you, sir.
272-9228 if, again, you want to get in and talk to our good city councilman here. We got to hit a break. First, though, this part of the program brought to you by Montgomery Men's Health. And, I've been telling folks about Montgomery Men's Health for a few years now. That's Montgomery Men's Health powered by Men's Pro. And, guys, if your energy's off, things just aren't working like they used to, you know what I'm talking about. Yeah, I'm talking about like at work, you lack confidence. Like you've been doing a job for 10, 20 years, and all of a sudden you're second guessing yourself, or maybe you do have issues in the bedroom, ED, PE, you know what I'm talking about. Or it could be just general malaise like with low testosterone, or it could be that you are, you're doing all right, but you want to up your game. And you should check out their new peptide online subscription model they have, but it's the beauty of an online subscription with actually in-person visits to Montgomery Men's Health. So if you're looking to get on NAD Plus to help with your mind and your energy and your focus, or you're perhaps needing some help with weight loss or want to have a little extra recovery after going to the gym, check out Morlin, I believe is the way it's said. And this stuff really can make you feel even younger, make you feel even more energetic. And, the results speak for themselves. Over 92% of men respond to the treatments they put forward there, customized, tailored treatments that they do after sitting down with you. Right now, your lab panel, blood work, and consultation is just $99. So make an appointment today. A lot of guys, after they go, say, man, I waited too long. I wish I'd done this years ago. Call them up at 334-440-3663. That's 334-440-3663. Or go to MontgomeryMen'sHealth.com to book your appointment today.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, But whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings 6 till 9 and afternoons 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
What's your biggest investment? More than likely, it's your home. So treat it that way when you hire a painting contractor. With PBS Painting, there are no gimmicks, no $99 specials. Just quality painting and someone who treats your home with the same respect that you do. At PBS Painting, we have been painting for years and look forward to many more years to come. With PBS Painting, the job gets prepped properly, whether it's cleaning, scraping, or priming. We always use quality products, which is a must for a quality paint job. So if you're looking for a painter that doesn't need upfront money and is on the job at all times, then please give me a call. Scott Bowers and PBS Painting, 294-5122. That's PBS Painting, 294-5122. Look at some of our work on Facebook at PBS Painting Montgomery.
This is your roving reporter. Today I'm talking with a prospector. That's right, man. I'm prospecting for gold. You dig? No, but it looks like you do. And you know the first thing I'm going to do when I strike it rich? What's that? I'm going to hire David Ernest to be my money man. You mean everyone's favorite asset preservationist? That is correct, man. I'm going to call him up at 833-596-7233. 833-596-SAFE. You know, I've heard a lot of the good things about David Ernest. You know, he's the best money man around with over 40 years of experience. Experience is necessary, especially when you're digging for gold. That's right, man. And I can see that you don't have very much experience. What do you mean, man? Well, you have the little plastic bucket and shovel like a kid would take to the beach. Yeah, man, well, I want to start out small and then kind of pace myself up until I strike it rich. Well, maybe you should call David Ernest first. You think he's got a shovel? Never know till you ask. I dig, man.
Hunger doesn't always look the way you think, but it's closer than you realize. On Saturday, May 9th, join the Budget Bites battle at the Heart of Alabama Food Bank and turn awareness into action. Teams will go head-to-head, creating a full meal for $5 per person or less in just 60 minutes. Every $1 raise provides 5 meals for neighbors in need. Now we need you. Register your team today at hafb.org. Deadline is May 2nd. Be part of the solution. Cook with purpose. Fight hunger one meal at a time.
For too long, Alabama's statewide news companies have shamed us for our conservative Christian values. Alabama deserves a news company that cherishes our culture, a company that isn't bought and paid for by the powers that be. 1819 News is that company. Run by Alabamians for Alabamians, 1819 News celebrates what is good and beautiful about our state, while exposing those who work against our values in secret. Just go to 1819news.com to learn more. Subscribe to our newsletter. That's 1819news.com. This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number 1 in the number 2 business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
You can't control interest rates. You can't control housing inventory. And you definitely can't control what the national news decides to panic about this week. But here's what you can control. You control your timing. You decide when it's the right time to buy, when it makes sense to refinance, and when to tap into your equity to renovate, invest, or consolidate debt and free up monthly cash flow. Real estate decisions aren't one size fits all, and they shouldn't be driven by headlines or social media noise. They should be based on your goals, your finances, and your life. The smartest moves happen when you focus on what you can control and work with someone who helps you see the full picture. Give us a call at Alabama Home Mortgage today at 334-567-4223 or visit us online at myalabamahomemortgage.com. That's Alabama Home Mortgage, because there is a difference in mortgage companies. NMLS 1586368, Equal Housing Lender.
This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number 1 in the number 2 business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
Weather, a service of H&H Carpets, where right now, get a load of this, listen close, you get a house full of carpet for $19.95 installed. Unbelievable. They're located at 6450 Atlanta Highway just across from Walmart.
Well, hi, everybody. Temperatures continue to moderate in a big way. Tonight, mostly clear skies. Not as cool. Overnight low temperature in the mid to upper 50s tonight. I think we're back to the middle 80s, not only tomorrow, but Friday as well. Good bit of sunshine both days. If you have Friday evening plans, I think we're dry through the evening hours, with the risk of showers holding off to the overnight hours Friday night, and then periods of scattered showers and thunderstorms at times. Saturday night, and Sunday. Not a washout. That could certainly affect some Talladega plans as well. We'll continue to watch it for you from the Blue Water Weather Center. This is Rich Thomas.
CB&S Bank, serving families and communities since 1906. Proud to be named 16th best performing bank nationally in their asset category by American Banker. Learn more at cbsbank.com. CB&S Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
When news happens, you'll hear about it first. The River Region's most trusted voice. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. Let's quickly go to some phone calls again. We have City Councilman Andrew Szymanski here in the studio with us, and Robert is up next. Hey, Robert, how you doing?
Hey guys, how y'all doing today?
Good.
Thank you, Mr. Councilman, for coming on and representing the city. Hello?
Hello? Sorry, say that again?
Yeah. Thank you for coming on and representing the city.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
That's where it's plugged in. I'm sorry.
Let's do it this way, people. Let's look at the occupation tax the way it should be presented. The city of Montgomery is being raped and robbed by outside people that's coming in. We're not just talking about a person that's coming in to go to work at the state building. We're talking about outside contractors that's coming doing jobs that's worth millions of dollars, bringing in their heavy equipment, tearing up your streets, tearing up your roads, bringing in taking the revenue out of the city, taking it back to where they come from, purchasing half of their equipment and purchasing half of their supplies from the city within they live in. You get no revenue off that. The local contractor here got to compete against him. They got to pay for the streets to be taken care of. The same fire department that got to come on that scene come from Montgomery. The same policemen got to protect them while they're here. But all the revenue is going back out with them with their trucks when they leave the city. So don't look at it as an occupation tax. Look at it as being fairly, duly compensated for you using our local police, fire, paramedics. If a person get hurt on their job and they out of travel, they out of Wetumpka paramedics is not going to come and see about them. Montgomery got to respond to it because it happened within their district. Then also, like the councilman is saying, there are a lot of unforeseen repairs that is not budgeted. You think everything's budgeted, but everything is not budgeted. Let's say a garbage truck is so outdated that it's not worth repairing, but it's got to be replaced. A fire truck could be so severely damaged that it's got to be replaced. There are hidden causes. There are facilities that may go down with a flood or may have water damage that you didn't see in the budget, but it's got to be fixed. There are a lot of things that eat up revenue. Now, back to the police department. I think the police department is doing the best they can because a police cannot tell you when I'm going to shoot you. He cannot tell you when I'm going to break in your house, but he can respond to it in a timely manner to stop me from being an outraged citizen that hurting other people. Now, y'all need help from the judicial system. We need to do away with some of these misdemeanors and make them felonies. Because people that keep doing misdemeanors lead to felonies.
And some of these judges actually keep people in prison or at least jail for the time being.
Yeah, I mean, you unlocked a couple of things there. And so first off, I want to reiterate what you said because, I was talking with the chief and some of the other police officers that were in leadership that were at the city council last night. Fabulous job. Respond when we have issues, when neighbors are reaching out to me about concerns that they have, information that they have they want to share. I give a ton of credit to every single person that puts on a uniform, gets out on our streets every day to help keep us safe. And that's why we keep talking about making sure we have those resources available. And look, I'm not necessarily saying that we need to have, that the occupational tax is the only thing that we need. I mean, look, I think one of the things that when you talk about being a city and being competitive, what are we in the business of, right? We're in the business of tax dollars. We're trying to get people to come here and spend their dollars here. We want people to live here. We want them to be residents. And right now, as we've seen attrition on the resident side, we have to think about how we're going to get that back. And it's not always about taxing the people that are already here, that are trying to maintain and contribute to the city. We've got to be reinvesting as well. I'm excited about some of the plans and some of the ideas for infusing some energy and some development into the downtown area. I want to see us doing things that help people choose Montgomery as the next place to live. That's the best thing we could do, right? The best thing we could do for the city of Montgomery is to get 20 people, 20,000 people, families, working folks that are coming here, contributing, buying houses, renting apartments or condos, that are going to work every day inside our city, that are going to our restaurants, maybe starting up small businesses of their own. I mean, in a small snapshot, I look at what's happening over in the Cloverdale neighborhood. They just reopened those buildings across from the Capri that had sat blighted for years. And, we have Big Bad Breakfast, which has been, had a line every single day they've been open. But then look what's right next to Big Bad Breakfast. You have two small businesses that are getting started, almost as side hustles by Montgomery residents, very similar to what I did up at the Hilltop, that are saying, you know what, let's block out some of this negative noise. I think that there's a good opportunity for us to invest into this area, to bring a small business here, to help employ more people. That's the kind of ecosystem we have to be encouraging. And so, money matters. Money always matters. And one of the things we need money for is so we can reinvest in ourselves and make ourselves a competitive place so that people will choose us. And I know a lot of people that I talk to, will sometimes ask, well, can we do that while we're having this conversation about public safety? And the answer is we have to. It's not just yes, it's that we must do that, right? We must do both at the same time. We must push and make sure that we are trying to have the public safety infrastructure and numbers that we need to have, while also making sure we're building a city that makes people excited about living there, that makes them want to choose Montgomery. And that's not just quality of life things, that can be infrastructure things, your parks, making sure that we're just maintaining the things that we have at a high quality that make people say, Montgomery has things. As I said, we keep talking about what other places have before we kind of talk about the things that we have ourselves. They're both important for our viability as a city going forward.
Now let's go to Ethel real quick. Hey Ethel, how you doing?
I'm doing well. I may have missed this, and I apologize if I have. We talked about money being spent in the city of Montgomery. Now, honestly, you don't see police on the street, very rarely. So when people are speeding and driving recklessly, there's no police on the road to see that. I wanted to know, we pay $60,000 a year. No, is it $6,000 a month to see that Stephen Reed is on national TV? Now, that is not benefiting the city. I've never seen the ads. I don't know what channel he's on, but if people are leaving, and if you keep raising the taxes, people are going to leave. It is not going to prosper. And I do feel like we need to have more police. Some things, do you have any say-so in how his discretionary money is spent? Like getting the Ferris wheel to come to Montgomery and...
I'll say this, that, number one is that, as a city council, we work with the mayor and all the departments for our budgets. And you know what, when it comes down to kind of the day-to-day management, city councils, we're kind of big picture and more leadership and governance and oversight, but the day-to-day management goes comes from the mayor's office through our departments, our department heads, and they have budgets and they make investment decisions, whether it be cultural affairs wanting to bring events and activities to our city, or if something like the museums or our libraries want to make investments into the buildings, infrastructure, programming that they have out there, or even things like the improvements that we've made with the business licensing department and inspections departments. Like all of that is managed through our departments, and I have a lot of confidence that the decisions that are being made by those people are the right ones. And then what we get the opportunity to do is talk about how the big budget kind of factors into all of that. And so far, and I'm happy to say that we've had healthy financials at the city ever since I've been in office, and I know even before me, that has put us in a position where we have a high bond rating. We'll be able to make investments into bringing some exciting things to the city of Montgomery that position us well. They just had the Diageo beverage ribbon cutting the other day. You know, we are working with major industries and have positioned ourselves well to be able to invest to help bring manufacturing. We've talked about the Meta complex and some of these other things. So I think overall, we're doing a good job of making sure we are getting a strong return on what we have. And as I said, I wasn't necessarily saying that I'm advocating for an occupancy tax. I would rather figure out ways to bring 20,000 more residents to the city by building a city that has the type of amenities and quality of life things that make people want to live here. So how we do that,
that is the key, because if people are moving out, your tax revenue will decrease.
Of course.
And people are moving out. And so I don't understand why we don't hire more policemen and do what we can to make all of Montgomery safe, not just a certain few, all of Montgomery safe. And it does concern me when we're throwing $60,000 away for such as that. I mean, that's pretty sad.
I hear you loud and clear, Ethel. Appreciate you, man.
Uh-huh.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm getting a lot of different texts. One saying that he wishes he could vote for you for mayor. That you're so positive, and have vision, and you're inspiring him. Others more frustrated. Why can't we get the police? I don't know. It's all over the map.
Yeah, but that's it though, right? I mean, I think that we've talked about this so many times, right? Like we're here and we are choosing to be citizens here. We're choosing to invest our time, to raise our families, to go to work here. And so while there are challenges, and as I've said on here many times before, we need to be honest and upfront about some of those challenges. We also have to look at, the things that are keeping people here. And we hear a lot of noise. There's a lot of noise, and there's a lot of debate and a lot of argument and a lot of differences of opinions. But at the end of the day, we're all still citizens here. And I think when I think about what Amanda and I are trying to build here in Montgomery, and why I was even willing to say yes when Clay McInnes, my predecessor, came to me with the idea of me running for city council. The main thing I said is like, I love this city.
Yeah.
You can tell me that I'm misguided as many times as you want to, but I came from very far away, and I came here, and I've invested everything I have because I love this city and I care. And I don't think that there really are a lot of people that are trying to maliciously hurt the city. I see people working their butts off all the time trying to make sure we're safe, make sure we have vibrant neighborhoods, make sure we have a healthy small and large business climate, a strong healthcare ecosystem, all of these types of things. There's great history here. There's a lot that we need to be proud of. And that passion and pride that we have for the city should be the basis for us challenging things that are frustrating for us, and why we need to be open and honest about those and find path forward.
And I think also y'all might end up getting an assist from the state, as much as there's going to be obvious fireworks with current leadership of the city and potential new leadership with the governor of Tuberville. I think there are also some things in the works at the state level that could shake things up in a very healthy way for the city and give, again, despite the public fireworks, I think there's a lot of new blood, new generation of folks, different eyeballs, and at the state level of government, I think it'll just help across the board. And as far as I'm concerned, you want to talk about whether I'm staying or going. I haven't decided yet. My brother and my father are worried I'm going to become a monk, so maybe I'll found a monastery here or something. I don't know how that even works, but I think there is a part of Montgomery that there is and maybe I'm going to have to write a follow-up, because I got a lot of feedback where I'm like, some of you naysayers didn't seem to get the point.
Yeah.
Because there are definitely folks who sit outside of Montgomery and almost want to root for the failure of this place. And though I often don't feel at home here, that immediately makes me feel like a homer that wants to defend my own turf. To me, at the end of the day, it's almost like we have an identity problem. And somebody in leadership, but perhaps it doesn't have to be an elected leader, needs to start being able to tell the story of this place and what it's all about in a way that actually stays positive, that attracts folks understanding also our warts, whether historical or current. I don't know. To me, it's, as I told you off air, though, my own decision on this, as I think everybody should, whether I stay or whether I go from this place where I was born, is more of a God and family thing, not really who's the mayor thing. And, perhaps I'll lay down deeper roots here, but I don't know. I'm a little frustrated. I guess my bottom line is I'm very frustrated with the naysaying. And, I've done that myself over the years, just because, you're used to what you know, and, like you get tired of it. But I've noticed that probably if wherever I traveled, I would carry that detachment and maybe exhaustion with me. It's not necessarily, it's more a reflection of me than the city itself. So I don't know. It's one thing to be concerned about the practical issues, but there is a tone out there sometimes that Montgomery will never work. It'll be the next Selma. It's like there is a narrative, and I think fighting back against that is also part of the solution.
Yeah, I mean, interestingly, at the Hilltop in my coffee shop, we get a lot of military folks that come in from Air Command Staff College, Air War College, Squadron Officer School that are here on that kind of either 5-week to 9-month schooling that they're doing. And I talk to folks all the time, and it's a pretty across the board. People say, like, I don't really get it. Everybody's so negative here, but they enjoy their time here. Some people have come back and retired here. Some people in the military have become investors, small business owners in our city. And so, I think that there is generally, as you say, there is naysaying, and there are people outside of the city that may have that don't see a path forward for success. Meanwhile, all of us are going to work, and we've got 55,000 people that are interacting in our military community. We've got some great foundational businesses here, a lot of opportunity, growth opportunities. And I think that there's something to be said about that it is challenging for, I talked to my sister who's back up in Massachusetts. She lives in my hometown, and she's got a million things to say about our hometown, which only has about 5,500 people. I'm like, Sarah, it's really not that bad. And she's like, yeah, I think it's, because you left and then you come back here and you only see the good things. And I'm like, well, try seeing the good things every once in a while, and I think we could do a little bit more of that. I know that there are, there are things that are not perfect, and they never will be. You've got a city of almost 200,000 people, a budget of $350 million, and all sorts of factors that play into this place that we're in. But we're here, and I appreciated the piece that you did, because I think it kind of just outlined that, is that we're here, and while we're here, this is the kind of approach that we need to potentially adopt, one that is less about how bad it is to be here, and maybe one that says, like, okay, how am I going to contribute to getting the city that I want to see?
You're here. Well, I'm out of time. Great seeing you, sir.
Always good to see you. See you next month.
Be right back.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
We get a lot of questions about what all we handle at Hannah and Eddie Realty Group. I'm Hannah Grantham.
And I'm Eddie Bader, and we will handle all of your real estate needs.
We handle all your buying and selling needs, from your first home, next home, land, investment property, and even commercial properties.
We do it all and have the experience that shows you what makes us different.
So when you think real estate, think Hannah and Eddie Realty Group. Look us up on Facebook or give us a call at 334-368-6358. And let us show you who you have on your sign matters.
Trust is the number one reason why a patient chooses a healthcare provider. Adams Drugs has been your trusted healthcare provider since 1962 and has been voted the number one pharmacy in the River region for many years. We strive each and every day to provide you the level of healthcare you have come to expect from Adams Drugs. The employees at Adams Drugs take pride in developing relationships with their patients, from making sure your prescriptions are filled correctly to getting to know you and your family's needs and following up on any questions you may have. Adams Drugs employees deliver top-notch service. We ask you to visit us at any of our locations in Montgomery, Prattville, Wetumpka, Millbrook, and Pine Level Marbury, and give us a chance to earn your business. You can find us at adamsdrugs.net for the location that is nearest to you. Adams Drugs is your local, independently owned Health Mart pharmacy. Health Mart, taking the time to listen and care.
It's Prattville City Fest, presented by Prattville Baptist Hospital, May 1st through 2nd in historic downtown Prattville. Live entertainment, arts and crafts, food, and Pepsi products by signature sponsor Pepsi. Prattville City Fest, presented by Prattville Baptist Hospital, May 1st through 2nd in historic downtown Prattville. It's free.
This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number one in the number two business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
The premier place the river region turns to for news, weather, traffic, and opinion. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Welcome back, folks. Let's real quick go to Ray Bowles with Prattville Carpet. Hey, Ray, how you doing?
I'm trying to figure out how to I'm trying to go to an international paper, and it's like a maze. I keep going down the wrong way, and these big trucks are honking at me and giving me fingers that I don't think are nice.
That's unfortunate. I hate you're going through that.
Yeah, normally Terry comes out here, and I got Terry somewhere else, and I said, let me run out there and see what y'all are talking about. I never come out. And there's a reason I don't come to the paper mill. They make you wear a hard hat, and I don't look good in a hard hat.
Ooh. Oh, yeah, I'm picturing it.
Yeah, it's going to mess up my hair the rest of the day.
Well,
but
you're still...
If you have any issues whatsoever, you call Private Carpet, one of us is going to jump up out of that door and run out the door and come straight to you. I can promise you that. And that's the kind of service we offer. And it all starts with a phone call at 334-285-8117.
Again, that's 285-8117. And even if they get lost, they're going to find you, folks. They're going to their darndest to get there and actually get the job done. And they do wonderful work. Great job there at Prattville Carpet. Great sponsor of the show. And as always, Ray, by the way, Mark is here supervising me today.
I was just fixing to say, I think Mark's is in a supervisor role. I hope you're charging him.
Oh, I'm telling him to go to church.
He's going to be paying me.
Oh, I'm going to be paying him, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I saw him at church Sunday. He's all excited. I'm glad he's out there. Mark, you've done a great job today.
Thanks, Ray. I hope you have a good rest of it.
Guys, have a great day. Thanks.
Happy hour is next. Pamela is here. Hi, Pamela. How are you?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
Well, Greg told me he was going to be late, so I stole some time here, but you saw him right now.
You know.
Oh, my. Anyway, it should be a good show. Y'all stay tuned.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusana.